day that I decided to make Hoplite was when I first started my civilization videos.
It's a Minecraft server made for the player base, made by a member of the player base.
I'm bored of modded content, and I think I'm like straight up retiring from it to try to pursue like stories with creator stuff. So that's interesting.
There's a difference between making popular content and making impactful content. Not
Yes,
necessarily will you
so
be making
true.
impactful content just because you're getting the clicks.
Yeah.
Type in the cheat code InsideMC and you'll be immune to a ban for the next hour. You can like, do whatever you want.
way.
I'm kidding.
Starting from when this podcast is released. Because I remember watching a clip on Twitter of somebody trapping someone, and they both had proximity chat on, and it was just the funniest video.
One of the names that the team were pushing for was literally...
Is there anything planned with Jules that makes it stand out to other like 1.19 or 1.20 plus like PvP dual servers?
50v50 I think is going to be the first one, so that'll be fun.
Alright lads, welcome back to Midweek MC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with the amazing co-host, Captain AJX, who sadly isn't here this week. However, it's fine. We do have another co-host, being Roman Rodri, who was on the podcast last week. Hello, Roman.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. I'm AJX's less apt replacement, and I'm here to fulfill my duties.
It's fine though, because it's not only us. It's not just us having a conversation. We are joined with someone who is very cool, someone who's very, very entertaining, yes. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of good stories about the topic that we're going to be talking about today. We are joined with the one and only SpeedSilver.
Hello. I don't know about the entertaining thing, but I guess we'll see.
I think you're pretty entertaining. I mean, I think a lot of other people think you're pretty entertaining as well, right?
As other people, I do think you're entertaining.
Let's go. Okay, we'll find out.
So today's podcast was announced as like a Hoplite podcast based on just how Hoplite's going right now and based on like what we have kind of figured out with Hoplite. We are going to touch on your like content creation journey in links with it, because I have a feeling Hoplite comes has links to a lot regarding your content creation, if I'm right in saying so.
Yeah, Hoplite is part of the content creation stuff too. Like, part of the reason why I even made it was to make videos on a new channel, get to make UHC content, so I feel like we'll touch on it anyway.
Links into both. So as much as it being advertised as only Hoplite is, and only Hoplite that we're going to be talking about today kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Before we get into talking about that, and I'll start in our questions anyways, I always like to give like the intro for you to promote yourself, or not promote yourself, but kind of let the viewer know who we're talking to today. Because I can introduce you as the owner of Hoplite, I can introduce you as entertaining, but that doesn't really say much about you. So if you can, it's up to you, even if a fun fact or so. Who are you? What do you do? And you know, even if you want to like say a fun fact about yourself or Hoplite, anything to do with that, it's up to you.
Yeah, okay. So I'm SpeedSilver. I have 3 million subscribers on YouTube, but I don't really view myself as the conventional YouTuber because I barely upload. And I'd say my thing is working on big projects. For the last 2 years, I've been making movie type videos, and a recent big project that took over a year has been my Minecraft server. So yeah, I guess a creator with a Minecraft server. I want to make it sound special.
You made a tweet, I can't remember how long ago, maybe a few weeks back, about how in the last like 2 or 3 years you've changed, every 4 videos you've changed your content. So you went from surviving 100 days in like a hardcore, or 200 days in hardcore, then to civilization, and now to battle royale, kind of like simulate the purge, simulate Minecraft's deadliest tournament, all that kind of jazz. So I feel like I could be completely wrong in saying this, but I have a feeling this new niche of content that you've done in the last 11 months is kind of what spiraled into what Hoplite currently is.
Yeah, like I've always wanted to make a Minecraft server since I was like 12 years old. I've been making scuffed Minecraft servers. It's actually a full story of a failed Minecraft server that I made with another YouTuber back in like 2019.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah, it's like a passion of mine. The day that I decided to make Hoplite was when I first started my civilization videos, because I just realized that it was something that could be turned into a brand new Minecraft game mode, and it was the first time that I used proximity chat in anything. So yeah, Hoplite went through a ton of different names, a ton of different designs, and yeah, there's a lot to dive into there.
Before we carry on with the Hoplite, can we touch a little bit on the failed Minecraft server then, if you have much to say about it? What was the idea behind that, and kind of what happened to it?
So essentially, this Minecraft server came at a time. So to get context, basically, my come up as a YouTuber was through the UHC community. I was somebody who was the #1 leaderboarder in Hypixel UHC, which is a game mode that inspired Hoplite. But after quite a few years of playing, things got quite stale, and also the game got very infested with cheaters.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to name drop the YouTuber. We're on
Oh
like
no, you don't
such
have
good
to like
terms.
name drop the
We're,
YouTube.
like,
I just mean more sense of
yeah.
like what was the idea behind the server and why it didn't work too well. You can just say it was another
Yeah,
content
so-
creator that works.
I mean, the thing that's kind of crazy is like it was a type of game mode like Hoplite UHC with custom crafts
Oh, okay.
because we wanted a game mode that, you know, I just love the game design of like Battle Royale, last person standing, you go mining, all that kind of stuff. Just the UHC game mode is my favorite in Minecraft. So we made our own, and then partway along the process, the YouTuber that I was making it with decided that he just didn't want to make a server. You know, it costs a lot of money, and also like I'm somebody who puts a lot of like creative passion into it, and it's just like I guess for him it kind of me taking it in like my own direction just became a bit too much. The server was very ambitious, and he just decided to pull out. And then because he was a lot bigger of a YouTuber than me, the developer also decided to stop working on it because it wouldn't get promotion. And then it kind of it kind of just stopped there. But the crazy thing is, a ton of Hoplite's builds are actually really inspired by the stuff that I got made for that server.
Okay.
So a few people who like know about that project have sort of seen the difference, and it's kind of like a tribute to that server. And that was such an important step in being able to make something like Hoplite, because all of the mistakes made on that server that I made were obviously things that I avoided this time and actually managed to, you know, take it to the full release.
I said this on like a previous podcast. I'm a very strong believer in everything happens for a reason, and like it can't be used in every single piece of context, but I feel like in this one it can be of like, you know, it didn't work out and maybe the time just wasn't right. Because how long ago was this when you were gonna make this server?
This was like 2019 or 2020, yeah.
Okay, so now let's look at it. That would have been right before COVID, and it would have, I feel like it would have done quite well at the time of COVID, but then also a lot of people during that were playing on like the in quotation marks bigger servers. So I think it's just a case of maybe it failed because it just wasn't the right time of release. And it's like now when Minecraft has kind of gone a lot quieter, you drop the server and it's getting what, like 2,000 odd players now, give or take, and it's still a fairly recent server. So a lot of people are like, oh crap, this is kind of in your words Minecraft. Well, not in your words of like Hoplite, but you made a tweet talking about Minecraft revival in 2024, and it feels like Hoplite is definitely the beginning of that right at the end of 2023.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there's a whole topic to dive into there around like why I think Minecraft is gonna have quite a big resurgence next year. Just with the shift in YouTube content and how much potential I see in like something quite new. Yeah, like on the topic of everything happens for a reason. Definitely the server, if I released it, wouldn't have done that well. It was kind of that classic thing that people fall into where or just Minecraft game modes, a lot of them don't have very much innovation, they don't stand out too much, and it would have been that kind of thing. It wasn't very unique. There are a few unique aspects of it, but after it failed and COVID and stuff happened, I kind of just got really into YouTube, figuring out the algorithm, just constantly trying out new things. As you said, like made Minecraft bot videos, Minecraft 100 days videos, and just kept innovating with that. And that was a super important journey for me to go on, to be able to understand like how YouTube works, so that I can design a game mode that is great for creators to play and just makes infinite content, you know?
It seems quite important. There's a few things that I want to point out, but first and foremost, it feels quite important that this kind of creative process and the development behind these ideas isn't a linear process. It won't just happen overnight, and it will, like, a lot of people seem to think that running a server and creating a server from scratch and making an innovative game mode and making a successful server out of that are very, like, overnight, easy things. Just everyone thinks I will be the next big server owner, I'll do it overnight and I'll manage it. It's very clearly not something that you can just whip up, and a lot of effort goes into it and a lot of your experience went into it. So that's the same way that Orbitz was saying, perhaps it wasn't the time. I think it's also just you had a dream and you found the best way how to execute it. And the fact that it was such a genuine dream is the reason that Hoplite still exists and is as successful as it is. It's not some soulless, repeat of anything that's been done before. It's a reconstruction and a reimagining of things that have been done before in some shape or form, but not in this way that you're doing it now. And that's why it's so successful in a sea of other UHC, servers, other PvP servers, other battle royale modes, whatever you might think of. And Hoplite stands out very quickly, like extraordinarily quickly, because of that experience that you've put into it. And I feel like that's something that people can take away from that. Like, I know a lot of people who want to make a server. I know a lot of people who want to learn coding. And a lot of people want to make, for instance, events and these kinds of servers and have them be successful overnight. And they have these expectations that I don't feel correspond with the reality of success that you found.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things that play into having a successful Minecraft server, and I think a big part of it is understanding how YouTube works. Like, without creators making videos on the Minecraft server, it's very difficult to get promotion. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can promote, like Minecraft server lists and paying people and stuff like that, but the best possible way to make people want to play a Minecraft game mode is just to see a creator actually having fun, genuinely like passionate about it. That's, you know, for me, whenever I see somebody playing something, a really good example is like ranked speedrunning and just like Minecraft speedrunning. It just blew up so much because it made really good stream content and everybody was playing it. That didn't really have like marketing. It's not even a thing that's really monetized. But yeah, so I guess it's just you have to know how to design games and know how to market. That's like basically it. And obviously, just be really passionate about this kind of community, this kind of scene, the creators in the space, because it's very hard to, I guess, run a successful Minecraft server. Just because you are like working with the limitations of Minecraft and it's not like a professional games company, but so I think it just takes a lot of passion from the team, but that's also its biggest strength as well.
I said this a lot in the past. When I was kind of making a lot of InsaneOrbitzz content, I made a video on a Bedrock server that was made by a content creator. And one of my big things that I said, and you've kind of proved me wrong here in a sense. Oh, I mean, not proved me wrong, so I'm still technically right in my own sense, is content creators, like servers made by content creators always fail. And not always fail, because obviously we've seen content creators make servers in the past that have done really, really well. And you right now, you're proving it does really, really well. But kind of add into what you said is like a lot of people think it's just really easy because they're a content creator and because they're like a larger or they have numbers, they'll think, oh, everyone's going to do everything and it's going to be easy to set something up, right? And once again, I'm not speaking on your behalf here, I'm speaking solely on my own behalf from what I witnessed. And it's like it's kind of the same to podcast. It's a very rough link, right? It's a very, very horrible link because obviously a podcast and a server are very different. But it's like I like a lot of people think running a podcast is really easy, like getting guests on or like scheduling and stuff like that. And you know, obviously AJX isn't here today because we had to reschedule this podcast, and that kind of is just a really easy way of showing that it's not perfect. You know, it's not easy to just, okay, you're booked in on this day, we are now recording on this day at this time, and like 80% of the time, yeah, like it doesn't get rescheduled, but then there's always that 20% like today, which it was. And it's, you know, people just think it looks easy, I can do that, and when they actually go to do it, it's like, oh crap, this was a lot harder than I realized. And one thing that I said to Fruitberries on his podcast was, we talked a little bit about Hoplite, was the thing about Hoplite and the reason why you're doing so well is because it's this Minecraft server made by a UHC player, right? You mentioned how you were top of the leaderboards on Hypixel UHC. You also have the content creator experience. It's a Minecraft server made for the player base, made by a member of the player base. Does that make I use better wording on the podcast, but I can't remember it. But does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it comes down to like the biggest obstacle for servers at the moment is the YouTube space. Like most big Minecraft YouTubers make videos that are like modded, really customized, really optimized just for YouTube. Whereas back in the day, you'd see so many YouTuber servers just because the format, like you didn't really have to innovate. The format was just given to you. Like a YouTuber makes a prison server and then makes Minecraft Prison Episode 1, and it's like really insane for content. Obviously, the big obstacle that servers face is like, how is it gonna turn into YouTube and Twitch content and meet tons of eyes and stuff like that? And then the other thing, I guess, is like, yeah, if a server's like only backed by one content creator, maybe it is more doomed to fail because like the content creator who made it might not be having very much fun. It kind of depends on like if they're genuinely passionate about it. But if it's just propped up by one content creator, it is in a vulnerable position. But
Yeah.
obviously what we went for with Hoplite is to make it a game mode that can make content for any creator who likes the game mode and will never really get repetitive just because because there's so much new stuff every game.
Another thing that I used to say as well was, and this doesn't apply in every single case, is like, so there was this Minecraft server on, because I used to be a Bedrock Edition player, right? And there was a Minecraft server released called Pixel
Bedrock
Paradise.
cringe.
Yeah, don't worry, I moved on March this year, so it's been a while. But there was a server called Pixel Paradise, and as soon as it released, it was just a horrible server, right? And every single creator in existence made a video talking bad about it. And so one observation I made from that is content creators can very much make or break a Minecraft server, in a sense of people wonder why Hypixel done so well, right? And obviously because it was a good server, but also because content creators were constantly making content about it. All these big content creators who, you know, people used to watch, I won't name any for the sake of it, but people used to like love watching, don't really do Hypixel content anymore. And it's like, and now Hypixel's player count has gone down. Maybe that's because, maybe there's no correlation at all. Maybe there is a correlation. I mean, you might know a better answer than I am because you're more kind of clued up on the whole YouTube and server kind of thing than I am. One thing I kind of just noticed is that now with like Hoplite, for example, you've got a crap ton of people, you know, making content about it. You've got like if you search Hoplite YouTube, there's so many trapping videos. Basically what people used to do with like trapping UHC on Hypixel, they're now doing on Hoplite. And with Hoplite having so many different variants of things, like with the weapons, the legendary weapons, the items you can get, all that kind of stuff, it means that you went from being able to make maybe 10 traps on Hypixel to 100 on Hoplite, and it just opens up a whole different field of content creators to essentially make the server even bigger, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I feel like YouTube space has kind of been a competition between the people making like modded custom content and Minecraft servers ever since the beginning of anything. And it's like the spectacle of Minecraft servers when Minecraft content was first being established was kind of always higher than what could be done with like Minecraft mods. Like it was probably a lot more difficult to make mods back then. There were less people established in the community to make mods. There's like teams of people who make custom content for creators now, and it's a lot more, that scene is a lot more developed. So I feel like, yeah, the YouTube content that modding could make just surpassed it surpassed mini games. Like, you know, if you're playing a open world mod pack with crazy custom creepy things, what is that thing? Like the recent
I feel like I know what you're on about. I just can't get
the lurkers or whatever they're called. They look scary, basically. You know, there's so much that can be done for YouTube content with custom stuff. So I don't think it's the fault of YouTubers or the servers or anything like that. Well, I guess it's not really the fault of YouTubers. Like, fair enough, everybody wants to make their content the best, and it's just a result of a really innovative community. And then obviously the thing that we've seen disappear has been those Minecraft Hunger Games series, like episode 100, all that kind of stuff. And if you think about back in the day when those Hunger Games videos were being created, the videos that weren't on Minecraft servers were literally just like survival episodes and like, you know, just not very interesting things. But the one thing that servers can do is involve other players and like, or just make interesting stories for super long videos. Like pretty much the only big Minecraft server content that gets made on YouTube at the moment is Hypixel Skyblock story videos where people say I spent 1,000 hours going for this item, I got a super rare drop, you know. That's probably the most recent big trend, and there are still creators getting millions of views doing that, and there's not really anyone getting millions of views doing like other Minecraft server content. But I do believe that Hoplite kind of changes that, and that's why I was so passionate about proximity chat, because, you know, you almost do experience a bit of a story if you're like, well, you definitely experience a story if you're interacting with teammates, and like you can hear the people that you're fighting with. It just adds like more depth to the world, and a game that's just longer, more randomization, all that kind of stuff, it just does make interesting YouTube content. And yeah, like I think we definitely could see, at the very least, me understanding that with Hoplite, and that's what we're going to be experimenting with. I definitely think we can shift the YouTube scene so that it's like worth it for creators to make YouTube videos out of Hoplite versus the modded scene. And that's not going to come from like us paying people to play on the server. It would have to come from, it literally makes such good YouTube content that it outcompetes these like crazy mod packs.
You need to convince them, kind of thing.
Yeah, but we have ideas for some really, really cool game modes in the future. structure that just allow for stories to happen and just will interest viewers. But obviously, like, I'm super on board with the modded scene, and that's what my content has been for ages. So no matter, like, it's good that Minecraft content is progressing in the first place. Like, it's great for creators, maybe not so great for servers, but it's up to the servers to change that. So
Exactly.
Truth be told, like we were talking about paying creators to play on your server, I feel like the most valuable thing is, in most cases, the servers that are successful aren't the ones that are paying people to play on them. They're the servers that are so fun that the creators choose, like you were saying, to have videos. Like we were talking about it before the podcast, but 100-episode series on these servers that people used to make that they don't really make anymore. But servers that make creators see it and go, this is really fun, I want to make a load of videos on it. They're not being paid by the server, they're just playing on it because it's fun. It generates a return for them because they're creating content on its own. It's going to be like a return for them. And then for the server, it's a publicity, free publicity, just off the back of them making a good experience for the player. And then you basically have done exactly the same thing with Hoplite. And there's so many, I've never seen so many streamers and YouTubers so quickly make so much content on a server. Like even other servers that come close, in my eyes, don't come close to the entertainment of content. Like other servers have numerically come close to the number of content creators creating content at a server so soon after its launch. I feel like in the entertainment value, other servers have not come close to Hoplite and what its creators have been able to accomplish in an early stage of development still. There's still a lot more to come. Yet people like with proximity chat, with these unique tools and custom items, have been able to create very unique kind of experiences of videos. If you watch one Hoplite stream, you haven't seen them all. Whereas there are other servers where it feels like if you watch one single stream of somebody playing this game mode, you have seen it all. There's not much variance. It feels like Hoplite has all the room for variance based on player interaction, which is a very clever use of its player base, actually. It's a very clever way to have the player base feed into itself. And then the creators seeing that and making valuable content out of it. It's a really, really interesting way of looking at the cycle of things that don't rely on you paying publicity, because you don't have to, and you shouldn't have to either. Like that's how all these servers have become successful, I feel. And as somebody who's played Minecraft for 12 years, which is weird to say now, but that's definitely like an admirable thing that you've managed. And you were touching upon your YouTube content and how you've done a lot of long form story content. Like all of your 100 days videos are very successful because that's what people enjoy watching. People want to see a good, well told, fun, compelling story that involves a load of people doing various things. And then being able to participate in that is a very, very, very like, it's a rare thing. Not a lot of people can participate in something like that. I remember that's something that you tweeted about, is Hoplite's kind of a way of people to get into a server and have a similar experience to a lot of your YouTube videos with the kind of event format and being able to interact with other people. It's a very, very rare thing. So I feel like that's something that the 100 days videos, even though Hoplite isn't like, oh, you're going to spend 100 days in Hoplite. I mean, somebody might. I'll not put it past. Somebody might. We'll see. But it's not like you're going to hop on and spend 100 days creating civilization. However, the same kind of logic still applies that you've learned. And I find that very, very interesting.
yeah, something I'm also passionate about, the reason why I want to I'd say something that I'm very passionate about is kind of seeing if we can make it so that more Minecraft content is made on Hoplite and just on Minecraft servers in general. And the reason why is because it makes me more money. No, I'm kidding.
It makes me rich. That's why I want
the reason why, but genuinely, the reason why is because I guess, like, obviously it does help the success of Hoplite, and that's something I want to see. But it, first of all, creates way more creators in the community. It's how Minecraft servers are how pretty much every single YouTuber you will see has come into the space. Because like otherwise the barrier to entry of making a YouTube video is compete with these people who have giant development teams or set up these like crazy things and storytell for 2 hours. Whereas the barrier to entry of making Hoplite, the first Hoplite video, is barely anything.
Just play the game and load a server.
And yeah, so basically I think for the ecosystem, like, well, that's just how I became a content creator, and this has like changed my life so much and just allowed me to do what I love. So seeing, first of all, like Twitch streamers who have so much potential start making YouTube videos, and people that I'm friends with start making YouTube videos and get instant success, is something that is just awesome to see. But also I think servers create communities and YouTuber groups so much more, because especially if there's like a team game mode or some kind of like co-op thing, creators are going to be interacting with each other a lot more. And for me, that just makes things interesting. Like for 2 years, I was doing modded survival-based content, and it was fun. Push YouTube optimization to its limits, make the craziest high spectacle stuff that I could. But what I found is like I just barely spoke to creators that I wasn't super close friends with, because like why would you? Like kind of I think a lot of friendships kind of, well, a lot of your closest friends are people that you have like scheduled interactions with. Like you don't have to make plans every single time. And when something like Hoplite exists, you know, you're always looking for teammates to play with and stuff like that. And it just, for everyone who's doing this as a full-time thing, it's just cool to like have so many conversations with other people who are passionate about the same things as you. And that's also something that makes YouTube content really interesting, because Minecraft servers existing in the first place, the reason why back in the day we saw all those really cool creator events happen in the first place. Well, I guess I'm thinking in terms of like YouTuber recorded UHCs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember the old UHCs were like, I said, I can't remember how I said this to him, might have been someone else. It was definitely on the podcast. It's like with like VigStar123, every Sunday morning, he'd like, because he'd upload like every 2 days a UHC, every like Sunday morning I'd save up like 3 episodes, sit down with my egg sandwich and watch all the UHC, the 20-minute UHCs. It's like just a thing to do every single time there was a UHC. Obviously there was the more competitive ones, like the ones with like VigStar and stuff weren't really too competitive compared to oh god, one name I can think of is King Tong. I really hope I'm right in saying that. I don't want to. I'm thinking of other names, but I don't want to be wrong in saying those names. So.
Yeah, and I think like also Minecraft servers are one of the ways to get real PvP content. Like people can involve PvP in their videos when they're doing the custom things. Like I've seen some big creators just invite like 5 people to the world, and instead of beating the Ender Dragon, they have a deathmatch at the end of videos. Ooh. But like the real way to have intense, like the highest tier Minecraft people fighting is on servers. Like you've probably seen, well, the Hoplite community have probably seen so many YouTubers have like intense 1v1s, or just like at least seeing them play the same game. And we're starting to see comparisons between different YouTubers, and you know, some people are like, some guys are viewed as the best in the game. Just 2 names that come to my mind, like Feinberg and Floatives, just like going crazy.
Yeah.
It's going absolutely crazy. And it's like me, like if there was some kind of the thing that's so cool is how this enables a streamer event to become so much more interesting if it was like similar to Hoplite. Like imagine a Hoplite, just literally a game of Hoplite, but only for streamers, and everybody was streaming it at the same time. Like I'd be super interested to see some of the best players go against each other and see who comes out on top. And that's something that you just would never happen when YouTube is in the space of just custom content, modded content, everybody doing their own thing. And yeah, to be honest, I'm bored of modded content, and I think I'm like straight up retiring from it to try to pursue like stories with creator stuff. So that's interesting. Essentially just like Hoplite streamer event. I have plans for something really cool there. And then I want to try like push a video to its limits with storytelling that, just because like, yeah, the Hoplite community is just so interesting, and I feel like a super high stakes live streamer event would be so entertaining. So
I guess to bundle in a few things that have been said in the last few minutes then, could like to kind of link them all into one here, is when you said about the kind of sponsored thing, Roman, was because as far as I'm aware, right, if something's an ad or something, if you're being paid to play a Minecraft server, you have to publicly say that it's sponsored. I'm not saying that everyone does, but as far as I'm aware, you have to. Can I get a yes or a no on this, Speed? Would you know?
Yeah, it's illegal if you don't.
Okay, cool, great. So with that, if you're paying a Minecraft content creator to play on a server, how I'd see it if I was a viewer, right? If I was purely just a viewer and I didn't make content myself, is if that creator's being paid to play on that server, they're not really too passionate about playing it, right? Whereas like with Hoplite and like I'll be honest, I personally haven't played it too much myself. I'm very bad when it comes to Minecraft. I'm watching a Hoplite stream right now because I always have a stream on the background. I'm watching someone play it right now, and I watch like Feinberg, I watch Fruitberries, and like I've made like a lot of observations on it just from watching it. I've like looked at a few stuff and had like friends tell me and stuff. But in regards to, there was Block Wars last week, there was Pandora's Box last week, a Minecraft tournament, right? And then as soon as Pandora's Box ended, the creators from different teams all went onto Hoplite to play teams of 4. And it happened after Block Wars. It happened, like, the creators are playing in tournaments. They don't want to end their stream, so they're like, oh, does anyone want to go play Hoplite? And it's like, you can tell they're passionate about it because they're not being paid to play it. They are literally like, oh crap, I want to go play Hoplite. And with the whole streamer thing, you mentioned before the podcast, and I found it, you said you made a tweet on the October 26th. What if a Hoplite streamer event was being planned? And you've hinted at it again now. And it's like, the thing with that is, a lot of the leaderboard players, and like two that come to mind, like you said, Feinberg and Floatives, they play the server. So if you were to do a streamer event where there was like a cash prize, for example, and it was only for content creators, you can get how many, sorry, it's very bad that I don't know this, I'm sorry. How many people are in a solo battle royale game? Is it 40 or is it more?
60.
Oh my god, sorry. So with, you could get 60 streamers, or not even 60, say we wanted to do 30 or 40, like I mentioned. You could do that and you could get 40 content creators who are all actually playing the server. Whereas I'm not gonna name drop other servers, but there's a lot of like, there's like some that I see where they're hosting like streamer events and they're cool, but the streamers are going into it and they don't actually know what they're doing. Like I've watched a few POVs where they're like, I actually don't know how to play this game, I'm just playing it because it looks fun. And it's like, whereas with your server, the content creators would have already been playing the server a bunch, they'd know the strats, and it'd show the person who wins isn't based on being better than the other person. The people who are going to win is going to be based on who is played the server more, which obviously, like, once again, two names to come to mind, Feinberg and Floaters. There's a lot of other content creators who are out there who have probably played the server a lot, but they're too, as if they won it, they're like, okay, they won it because they're good at the game, yes, but also because they actually play the server constantly. That kind of idea.
Yeah, that's one way to take the creator event, like just a complete like Hoplite experience, but just the creators. I think the way we're gonna make the event is gonna be have like Hoplite elements, but be a little bit different.
Okay.
Just because
well, just like an example, because obviously I didn't know what the ideas are for the event as well.
Yeah, and none of that's public, so I don't want to leak too much.
Yeah, that's fine.
It can basically just be imagined as like a big creator Hoplite thing. Just I guess I think it would be more fun if there's things that change the game that aren't completely just PvP based. To allow like other streamers from different communities to play in it. Just because it's boring if everyone's like a sweat, you know? If everyone's taking it too seriously versus like a kind of experience like I've just seen a lot of other events like not be too sweaty, and I like the atmosphere of that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, from the way you describe not just how you want to run the event, the creator event that you work on, but also Hoplite in general, is you're not just making a UHC server for sweats or anything like that. You're not just making a PvP based server for sweats. You're making something that anyone can theoretically just hop on and have good content from. Even if, for instance, and even if somebody just wants to hop on and do some kind of roleplay based video, if they want to do something silly, if they want to do something fun, the tools are there for them to do that. And it sounds like the creator event, you're not just looking at what could be fun from a just purely sweaty perspective. You're looking at it for what could be fun for just about any creator who wants to join, could get something out of it, even if they are not PvP focused or they don't have the most time to play on Hoplite as is. They can just
essentially, like I just think it would be interesting if a creator event that was live streamed also made for crazy, like a crazy YouTube video. We've seen that with like some creator events, but a lot of them are very like repetitive and minigame focused. And like I think there's so many upsides to the minigame thing. It's like really fast paced, so much variety in gameplay. Like that's one way of doing things. But the other way of doing things is like, I mean, straight up, like this isn't what it would be, but if it was just like a longer game of Hoplite just with creators, there's just a lot more. I guess it can make a longer video, more randomness is going to happen. Like just the same way that Hoplite content as well already. Yeah, I just think it would be interesting for a creator event to expand over to YouTube so that there's kind of a link between those two communities, because I think that's something that the Minecraft space, in specifically English, has missed for so long. Like, people have noticed, or just people know, that the Spanish Minecraft creator space is so popular compared to the English creator space. And like, I don't know about how many people, I guess, like, surely there's more English Minecraft players than Spanish ones. But I think what happened over in the Spanish side of things is like they moved a bit less towards the crazy custom modded stuff. Like we only went down the route of Minecraft bot videos. I guess maybe this isn't too familiar to the Minecraft multiplayer community, which I'm sure a lot of your viewers are. But like most people know about the Minecraft bot videos or whatever, they might have seen them in their homepage. And that only started because two crazy genius YouTubers just did a custom cube UHC. Like it all started from King Tong and Grazer making like a custom cube UHC title. It was like Minecraft, but you can craft an elytra.
And that just went into a whole like Nestoria still does it, like Minecraft.
Yeah, and then
Minecraft
it just
videos,
it was just like Minecraft but random items, like all these things, and that caused this crazy trend that's, I guess it did go into the Spanish community more, but for whatever reason, like maybe the Minecraft servers were just like more solid. Creators didn't like it as much. They stuck with Minecraft servers, and obviously that's a link between Twitch and YouTube. Like if somebody's uploading a video on a Minecraft server, maybe stream highlights style, and people are going to go over to the streams, whereas we don't really see many stream highlights anymore. So at the very least, like there was a creator event that made a good YouTube video and it was live streamed. You could see Twitch space grow more. I mean, the last time something big like that happened was Dream SMP, and we saw like 100k live viewers on all these streamers because it was an innovation that like not only made YouTube videos but also streams.
It's funny you mention that. So on the like multilingual side of things, I'm Brazilian. I make English speaking content, but I'm Brazilian. And I've had a lot of contact with the Spanish community. And two interesting things is when it comes to like these large events that create these amazing stories, one of the largest examples I can think of, even before this year necessarily, is the event Squidcraft. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it's literally Squid Game in Minecraft made by a Spanish speaking community. It's a really good mix of roleplay and mini games and PvP skill. So it's like it has a little something for everyone, and everyone made really incredible just roleplay content. Even people who don't always roleplay made really fun roleplay content with the like Squid Game logic that they were applied to, and that was a huge event. I had no idea it happened until they started adding English-speaking creators, and then suddenly I found out, oh yeah, it's the second one that they've added English-speaking creators to. So that was the first one that was also really successful the previous year. I don't know if they're going to do one anytime soon, but it happened like really, I think February, really early in 2023. So we tried to happen. And then after that, a couple months after that, we had the QSMP come in. And I feel like maybe if you don't have as much contact with multilingual communities, it's easy to miss. But the second they added Brazilian creators, they started getting streamers who get an absurd amount of views just playing on QSMP. Like we're talking about Cellbit and Forever and these creators getting over 100,000 views doing QSMP lore, like when lore first started, or not even just doing lore. Numbers that we hadn't seen since the Dream SMP. And then with the number of creators that they kept adding from different communities, the numbers just kept growing. So I feel like a lot of people kind of sleep on the perhaps the impact of the multilingual community because we simply don't have touch with we don't tend to have touch with things that are outside of our own like sphere of content that we consume. But when we have the QSMP doing this kind of thing, it becomes quite obvious that there is a lot of stuff happening outside of just the English speaking community that you can look at and take inspiration from.
Yeah. This is what we touched on last week's midweek MC, Roman as well, kind of linking into that, which is funny.
Yeah, I guess like the Spanish, because that's what is already a community of people, big Twitch streamers who make stream highlights style videos, like there's a lot more incentive and just reason to try something like that. That kind of like streamer event that makes crazy YouTube videos hasn't really been proven to be worth it for quite a while, so nobody really does it. But you know, maybe all it takes is a YouTuber who's bored of the custom optimized videos to like put it on, because I guess like that crossover of interest for me where like I want to do new things constantly with my channel and I want to like make the Minecraft community do more like memorable things. I grew up watching Minecraft YouTube and looking back on all those like recorded rounds and custom events and all these things. There's obviously still like tons of people making moves and like hosting cool events, sense. But yeah, like there's nothing really in the PvP space. Like USMP is the perfect example of like just innovation and doing things that cross over. But yeah, I just want to see like a kind of
resurgence.
Yeah, just a more story focused and like unique content that isn't as optimized and more rides on like the story and spectacle of seeing creators interact in one place and make lore and all that kind of stuff. It's just interesting. It makes memorable moments, and it's also really fun for the creators and just creates a lot more of a community. It makes everybody like speak to each other about their content, and it's just a lot nicer, more fun way to do YouTube than to be in your own bubble making like modded content constantly.
I guess it's like with I guess the first thing I can think of is Scatter's Minecraft, for example, with like the old prison content, like where they I can't remember the exact name of the series, where they like escape the prison and like there's the prison guards.
Yeah.
Cops and Robbers, that's the one. It just left my mind, thank you. It's like that, you could just, it was just a few creators sitting in a call for maybe about an hour, having a bit of fun, being silly, maybe a little bit scripted, but like none of it highly edited, none of it highly done. It was just creators chilling, having fun. It's like YouTube has very much become, and I'm assuming you that know this more than everyone, it's become very like optimized, highly optimized. You have to make like the best like content you can, or like, you know, you have to do everything, edit everything, blah, blah, blah. And you can't just kind of sit down in a call, have a bit of fun with your mates anymore and upload it. And that's kind of what, other than with Hoplite, I've seen like a few videos where people are saying, and of course it's edited because that's what you do, you edit YouTube videos, but I've seen it where like content creators are sitting in a call, like a few of them playing Hoplite, and they're messing about doing silly little traps, and it's like, it's just them having fun, you know, it's just them vibing, being together, and it's doing good for views because they're just, and it's good for interactions, like you said, is instead of sitting on your own recording a 2-hour long video, editing that, and it's like it can get a bit lonesome sometimes. And that's why I love the podcast, because I decided to kind of give up on the InsaneOrbitzz channel and focus on this channel, because every single week I get to sit down with 2 new people, because I'm midweek MC, of course, unless it's a one without a guest. I get to sit down with, for instance, you now, and then on Monday I'm sitting down with another content creator, on Wednesday I'm sitting down with another content creator, and it's like, it's just cool to kind of interact with new people. Even if you don't interact again, it's cool to hear the different stories. And, you know, with you now, I'm hearing all these different stories and all these different thoughts, and then I get to upload it to YouTube for other people to hear, or to Spotify for other people to hear, you know?
Yeah, and this is actively like making people more engaged in the Minecraft community. Kind of like, I mean, there's not really anywhere where I talk about YouTube, my occasional live streams, I guess, but you know, it's cool when things kind of align. Like obviously it would be nice, part of it is just it's cool doing things that are good for the community and like take a group of creators forward, but also it can just come from like, it's just interesting and it's boring to do other stuff. That's kind of the mix of like where I'm at. Like I really like doing new things. I'm kind of bored of like doing the same type of thing, just like modded content every single time. Super interesting when you were talking about Cops and Robbers, Sky Does Minecraft, and how, you know, content used to be so different back then. It's funny to think like, you know, last year somebody made a Minecraft prison video that got like 15 million views, and it was obviously in a way different format. Like it was Ish making 1,000 players simulate prison, but on like obviously it has a way bigger scope and stuff, like it's 1,000 players, but it is, when it comes down to it, like players playing in a Minecraft prison, like interacting with each other. The spectacle doesn't come from like prison, but it's you get a shiny rainbow pickaxe, or like prison, but you know, it's not a clickable. None of these videos that have been made with like the simulation type content, the things that I've been doing, the things that Ish has been doing, none of them are actually really that clickable. They're literally just stories in the same way that like Minecraft content was back in the day. Like you're not, when Minecraft Hunger Games episode 500 was made by Bayesian Canadian, like people didn't click on that because they're a brand new YouTube viewer, and well, obviously some did because like Hunger Games in Minecraft is cool, but there are probably like more clickable titles and thumbnails, but it's just kind of the
maybe
the personality, and just like, I guess there was a lot of scope to that. If Cops and Robbers videos back in the day, well, actually no, it's if like Ish can make a prison video popular just because it has an interesting story, and that video got 15 million views, then the potential for personality based, story based YouTube content is very, very high. So that's why like I'm just gonna be trying some things that I do think could shift the YouTube space, or at the very least just make an interesting like event plus YouTube series for people who want to join the Hoplite streamer event. It's something I'm super excited for. The other actual just interesting YouTube group to look at is the Hermitcraft, what is it, Lost Life and stuff. They do these like kind of almost SMPs with high stakes, make a story, and all of those videos aren't crazily optimized, but just having super interesting personalities and, you know, like that kind of thing, making a story, it really does do well. So yeah, I just think the YouTube audience is like really looking for something new by seeing those trends that have happened recently.
I think it's more so as well, like you can do I guess what I was kind of trying to get at as well is you can do the content that used to be popular. You just can't, you have to kind of do it in a way that works with YouTube now. For instance, like you said, they did a cops and robbers type of video, but they did it in a way that like was their content and would work with them. On your second channel, SpeedSilver Plus, you've been uploading Hoplite videos. You've only uploaded 8, but you still, as far as I'm aware, every single one of them is Hoplite. Yeah, okay, cool. Just double checked. You know, this technically, these 8 videos could be Hoplite episode 1, Hoplite episode 2, Hoplite episode 3. But the way you're doing them is like, it's kind of like that, but in a different sense of the deadliest weapon in Hoplite Battle Royale. But it's still just you playing Hoplite, but there's an idea behind the video. The luckiest find ever, once again, you just playing Hoplite, but there's an idea behind the video. Fortune 4 is so overpowered, once again, it's another Hoplite video, you just playing Hoplite, you trying to win Hoplite, but there's a topic behind it. It's not just like, you know, meaningless, like, oh, I played Hoplite. This is the whole video, me just recording myself playing Hoplite. See, the thing is with videos, and I think like what makes your videos stand out so much in kind of just from my observation here is it's not, the way you make your videos is you can't just skip to the end for the result, in a sense of if I uploaded a video 20 minutes long of me just playing Hoplite, right? Depending on the viewer I am, I can either watch it in 2 times and just watch it for 10 minutes, which is what I kind of watch most content on. Or if I don't really care about the video because I know it's just you playing normally and I want to see if you won or not, I just skip to the final end battle. But with your kind of videos with the luckiest find, when does the luckiest find happen? You know, I killed an X-ray hacker on Hoplite and he had this. When do you kill the X-ray hacker? What does he have? Like, I can't just skip to the end of the video to find out the answer. I have to watch the video because it could happen in 1 minute and it could happen 5 minutes in, that kind of idea. And I think that's the whole idea of it's still kind of the same content, but you've changed the way it is to make it more optimized to current day YouTube in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, Hoplite content falls under like what I'm doing with it at least does fall under just like it being kind of optimized. Because those videos aren't videos with like super depthful stories and stuff like that. I mean, obviously me just going on like a progression thing of starting with nothing and then trying to win the game is like a story in itself. Yeah, I mean, the stuff that I was like just talking about is how with like stories and kind of innovation, I think YouTubers can do better. And like YouTube content can be a lot more story oriented and less optimized. And the reason why that's so exciting, I guess, is because like for a lot of types of creators who are very creative, have really interesting personalities, and just like have a lot of things that aren't just skills in YouTube optimization, it's good to be able to like have a little bit of freedom and like not have to get the most clickable, optimized YouTube thumbnail ever. That's what I found, at least. Like it was a breath of fresh air being able to make the content that I was on my main channel and just not really have to worry about the thumbnail being optimized. I just kind of had a basic format for these types of videos. But the Hoplite content, the reason why that's like cool, I guess, is because of like, yeah, the game behind it. It's just a story of like constant intensity and really high stakes and stuff like that.
Something I was going to add off the back of what you were saying is I feel like a lot of people, everyone wants to make it big. That's something that's always been like a constant, I guess, dream for everybody who ventures into content creation, especially since, I don't know, the early days of YouTube. That's something that when I was a kid, I dreamt of, oh, I'm going to be such a massive YouTuber. Obviously, everyone has that kind of dream growing up, at least when I did. I think something that people lose track of, especially nowadays, I see it a lot, is there's a difference between making popular content and making impactful content. Not necessarily will you be making impactful content just because you're getting the clicks. And you can spend your whole life optimizing the algorithm reach of your videos. Then if it means literally nothing from either an entertainment perspective or from an impactful artistic perspective, whatever it is, if it doesn't drive the community forward, then how much value is there in what you did compared to what you could have done with the same tools if you applied more creativity and passion to what you were actually doing, making the video out of? If you're just copying Mr. Beast, for instance, to get a load of clicks, then what does that actually do? It does nothing. It gets you clicks, but it won't do anything else. It has no positive net value for anyone aside from the clicks that you're getting. And then when you actually apply creativity and passion to a project and mix it with the knowledge that you have, you can actually make something meaningful that reaches a lot of people and has a deeper impact and drives things forward. And a lot of people lose track of the fact that, for instance, some of the biggest content on YouTube when I was growing up was the Oxcast Shadow of Israfel, which was literally just
good.
friends hopping on a server. I love it so much. I'm glad that you like it. It was just friends hopping on a server, semi-scripted improv. One of them didn't even know what was going on. Like Simon did not know what was going on. Lewis had a basic idea, and they just went. They just went, and they made a large, successful series that sadly never ended. And I'm still not over it. All these years later, I'm still not over that. But they did it, and it was really successful, and people still talk about it like 11 years after the fact. And then they have, as you were mentioning, the Hunger Games videos. They also made those videos with no preparation, no skill. They just got a load of fun people together, popped on the Hunger Games map, and made fun content with loads of other creators. You know, collabing with people like Captain Sparkles for the first time, collabing with a load of different Minecraft creators at the time for the first time ever that they were doing that, with these completely off-cuff fun maps. I feel like that's something that you've managed to, that you were talking about, basically meshing these different skills, I suppose, the skill of fun and creativity and art, and the skill of getting clicks into something that really drives the community forward.
Yeah, I guess it's like I've just kind of ended up at the point where I want to be remembered and like make an impact and just do something more than just get YouTube views. Like it is fascinating to do the YouTube game and like increase your views constantly, but after a while of doing it, it's just like it gets a bit stale. And we've kind of seen, honestly, one of my biggest inspirations for like switching my content was actually Clown Piss, just because, or even just the Lifesteal SMP, like all those guys kind of decided to step away from the spectacle, or maybe didn't even step away from it. Like that's how they started their YouTube scene, their YouTube journey and stuff. But by making a story, playing on this server, and having like lore and interactions, people ended up actually caring about watching them no matter what. Like even just a random 1v1 video by between two prominent PvPers would get so much interest because all the viewers are like, Clown Piss is the guy from this crazy, he's the scariest player on the Lifesteal SMP, let's see how he does in other stuff. And yeah, those like Lifesteal kind of started, at least with me, like the move towards just realizing what could be done if you actually made an impact. And actually, like before I started my I don't think you guys are too familiar with like what they are, but essentially just the videos that I made this year, like these intense tournaments. Before I recorded the first one, I didn't even know how to like PvP in 1.9. I was a 1.8 player, and I just spent like so many hours learning 1.9 PvP in preparation for all of that, just because I wanted to make an impact. But yeah, like I guess there's a interesting separation, and I think there is going to be an interesting separation next year between the Minecraft creators who want to like make an impact, have a really engaged core audience, and yeah, just like be remembered and show their personality, versus the Minecraft creators who are passionate about playing the YouTube game and just running like a business and all that kind of stuff. And I respect both sides a ton. The running a business side of things is crazy, and uploading daily high quality videos is nothing to dismiss. I just think it's definitely I do think it's appealing to a lot of creators to make an impact and be remembered, because like it's just so fun. It's like what the Minecraft community was built on.
I was going to say, it seems like it's a bit about a creator asking themselves, what are you making content for? Are you making content to be famous, or do you want to be famous to get something across?
Yeah.
Or do you not even want to be famous? I don't even know. Some people might not want to be famous at all.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is like how much potential that is from like the Twitch streamer scene. Because I guess like if you're a streamer who doesn't also make YouTube content, I think a lot of those guys, like they have crazy potential to make YouTube videos. A lot of them have made some of the best YouTube videos in the Minecraft, in Minecraft, but they've kind of just got tired of like the YouTube game, how much it gets optimized. I don't want to like, I've never spoken to these guys about this, so I don't want to, I could be wrong, but like Apple, for example, like he was and is always going to be known as like having some of the highest quality videos, making some of the most impactful videos ever seen in the Minecraft space. And he doesn't really upload on YouTube anymore. Fruitberries as well. Like, even though they were simple back in the day and he might not have like really planned it, like those trapping videos were just like insane. Trapping in Hypixel UHC were just insane stories of like trickery and like plotting, and it's just those videos blow up for a reason. And maybe like what the Minecraft space needs is some kind of a person to like put on an event and design a story so that like all these crazy high potential streamers can, even if it's just for their Twitch stream for like a temporary event, I just think so many people will get interested in that and it'll make YouTube viewers and kind of just spiral into like a big thing. Yeah, it's just a lot of like time and effort to put together a story yourself. Like, because I've been hosting these events just to like make some, like kind of just hosting like private events just because I wanted to make stories in Minecraft. But yeah, now like Hoplite exists. I also just, there are so many creators that I've been speaking to recently who've been playing Hoplite. I just so want to do something. Like, I won't explain what the plans are, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
A lot of things, big things planned that you can't really say too much on without leaking anything that you shouldn't be leaking.
Yeah.
Essentially. Keep
an eye out.
It's really interesting, like, hearing all this, especially, like, this is why I love the podcast once again, is because just because I haven't invited this on doesn't mean, like, I don't want to speak to them, because obviously some people are harder to contact, and some people, I mean, I'm just so pre-booked with, like, guests and stuff, it's hard to contact everyone, but it's like this, like, I don't, if the podcast does well, obviously I want it to do well, I'd like it to be a full-time thing. If it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I still have like a job that I can do, kind of thing, that I'm earning money from, sorry. So like, it's just hearing stories like this, is like you mentioned, you wouldn't really, this isn't something you would just casually say without kind of being, like, prompt, would the word be prompt into telling, like, saying it, if that makes sense? Like, you wouldn't normally like talk about this kind of stuff unless, you know, you're coming on a podcast and we kind of ask the right questions to get you to speak about it in a kind of sense. And it's fun hearing the stories. I like it.
Yeah.
I guess to touch on Hoplite a little bit more, because this has kind of just become a podcast of talking about you and Hoplite, which is completely fine. There's no problem in that at all. Is you earlier you mentioned about one of the ideas from the get-go was to add proximity chat. When I first saw it, I was quite intrigued, because I was like, oh, proximity chat, that can go either very, very right, which it seems like it has, or it can go very, very wrong, in a sense of just letting anybody talk to anybody, especially while you're streaming. So I don't really have a question here per se, but what exactly was, actually no, I do have a question. What was like kind of more the motivation, you touched on it a little bit earlier, to add proximity chat? You said because it kind of makes for good like content and stuff like that, but was there any other reasons for it, or was that just the only basis?
Well, yeah, just one thing that stuck in my mind from that, you said like it could go very, very right or very, very wrong. We were like definitely prepared for the worst, and we're pretty much on the page that we might have to remove it after the first few days if like it's too toxic and stuff like that. But what we've kind of seen is like, I feel like it's the same as real life, where because you know it's like it's real people and stuff like that, people are kind of a little bit tamed, because like if somebody says something absurd, first of all, be with moderation. So by absurd I mean like not bannable, not like terrible, but just something like maybe they're raging like out loud at someone.
Yeah.
Other people around them are gonna like laugh at them or be like, well, chill, like it's you know, and it kind of just, the social interactions tame it a bit, which is funny because it's like the same logic as, oh, somebody could like be really rude. Somebody could be really rude in real life, like when you're walking down the street, but because it's like a real person and they're gonna like react to it or just kind of think you're weird, like there's just no need. Yeah, for whatever reason, like it just does work pretty well. And I'd like to think as well, like the community are on board with what we're trying to do as a server. So it's kind of less like, there's less reason to break rules and like cheat in the first place or get banned because, well, I guess like people want to keep playing. It's probably like genuinely just more fun to play the game properly than it is to break a rule and get banned and have to like pay for an extra Minecraft account and a VPN and like all this stuff, you know?
Oh, so you guys IP ban, do you? Or is that something you can't leak?
Not gonna lie, I can't really remember. But yeah, I don't really know. Like,
yeah, we won't touch too much on the moderation like system anyways, because it's something that if I owned a server I wouldn't really want to be talking about publicly anyways, just on the basis of like
tell us how to go
basically
around your
type in the cheat code InsideMC and you'll be immune to a ban for the next hour. You can like,
no way.
I'm kidding.
Starting from when this podcast is released, 4 p.m. Wednesday.
Yeah, people are trying to figure out the moderation whitelist cheat code. Can't tell them.
Yeah, no,
Oh, God.
with the whole like proximity thing as well, is I think what's really nice is you don't force people to have it on, which is good. You can genuinely just mute it. You can just deafen. You don't have to actually talk to other people, because we kind of this is kind of linking in a sense back to when you mentioned earlier about the whole like just playing for fun. Is one streamer, KOF, he was streaming this once, and his whole goal was just to make a shop and sell items, and it didn't really go too well because everyone he encountered didn't have voice chat on. However, like I think like 1 or 2 people he encountered did have voice chat on, and it just made for like a really, really good experience. It's like, you know, because the thing is even with like if you're co-streaming with a friend or whatever, it's you even if that friend you trust, you always kind of run the risk of they could say anything bad as well. Like just because like, you know, so I think proximity chat, I understand why it's a thing. I was just asking if like you kind of prepped for it, which you said you were, so it's just interesting to see it added. You don't really see it in Minecraft servers, and it's your own as well. Like you said, it's custom for the server. You haven't like, you're not using a client, you don't have to use a client. As soon as you log on, you can use proximity chat.
Yeah, the reason why we added it is just because it makes videos have so much more depth if you can like hear the person. It's funnier, it's more entertaining. Just something that I like, it's just something that I genuinely enjoy. The one thing that we do see is like people don't use it as much, especially in people use it a lot in Civ, but in solo mode people don't use it as much because just fundamentally it's like you don't necessarily want people to be hearing you if you're fighting them. Like you have to surprise attack and stuff like that, but people turn it on like mid-fight and say some funny things. Like it's kind of just, that's just how it is in a PvP game mode. But I think we'll see the full potential of proximity chat with future game modes that we add, because imagine like just, you know, a parkour game mode or like a, you know, game mode that isn't entirely PvP. There's like some social hangout places or like a party games, like whatever we did. Hearing people then, like people might be using their mics a lot more. Especially games where you like party up for you, I don't know, like a 4-player game that you get sent into. You might want to communicate with your teammates. Like it'll be cool when there's no disadvantage of like your enemies hearing you if that's used in a future game. But I do like how it's pretty much like it's pretty much at its full potential with, you know, with Battle Royale right now. And it's just a nice addition.
I think something like, I'm not saying this would be a game because you've probably got a lot more ambitious games to be added, but something like the dropper with proximity chat could be so funny. Just hearing people like talk as they fall.
Like, man, that's actually a genius idea. Holy, being able to hear people like scream as they jump down, man.
And then if someone keeps like dying and then raging as you jump, you can just hear them like raging at the top that they keep like they can't hit the water or whatever. It's just and then like as you're falling together, you can just have a conversation. Oh man, just stuff like that would be so. Because I remember watching a clip on Twitter of somebody trapping someone, and they both had proximity chat on, and it was just the funniest video because like I think it was like do you know like in Fortnite when you do the fake when you do like them videos of like their fake the scam things where they like edit the wall and stuff like that, right? If you've ever seen one. It's like, I think they did like trap them in a box, and it's like, oh yeah, if you give me this, I'll untrap. It's just, I can't remember the video word for word. It was just funny because of the proximity chat experience, because it's not like if you trap someone, you can't just invite them to a Discord call, whereas in proximity chat you can actually talk to them, you can interact with them while they're in the trap. For example, you can have a conversation with them like, yeah, you're screwed, like, you know it, you're screwed here. Any last words, that kind of stuff is like, you know, it makes for really, really good content.
But the one thing is, I guess, like, it is just quite hard to moderate. Like, a lot of our mod team have to spend a ton of time listening to the reports, and we had to custom code so many things, like authentication, to make sure that people can't just, like, you know, abuse on proximity chat, get on an alt, keep doing it. Like, that's why we set up all of that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely good for like big team games. I guess like PvP games where you're going against other people, like people usually just use Discord calls, so it kind of depends on the game mode. But yeah, definitely like if there was a social hangout server with it could be cool. Yeah, it's just something I just love in YouTube videos, and it's very funny. It just entertains people. At the very least, it entertains people in the pre-game lobbies a lot.
Yeah, that causes some. I've seen some very good conversations of like when someone meets a content creator and they just start screaming their name, and it's like, oh my, chill, like, chill out, and it's just like screaming like, oh my god. It's just little interactions like that on stream just cause for some funny moments as well.
Yeah,
these kinds of like trap videos where you interact with the person that you're trolling remind me a lot of during the pandemic when Rust really blew up again, and people used to do basically just exactly that kind of content, but in Rust, which obviously also has a built-in proximity chat, and just these random streamers, even people who didn't play video games normally, just like dozens of the biggest streamers getting into a server and just messing around together. Reminds me a lot of that, but it's something that kind of vanished. Like as soon as Rust vanished, kind of vanished, and now you've brought it back in a way, which is just the really fun art of trolling somebody who can hear their reaction to it. And I think a lot of other roleplay content from other games as well. I saw a lot of like funny compilations from, I mean, I guess Call Me Kevin would be a good example. Now that I think of it, Call Me Kevin used to do that kind of thing in Gary's mod. That kind of content just vanished off the face of the earth, but it's still really funny. It's just they just stopped making it because either the games fell off or they lost interest. But it's really, really
honestly,
fun to see.
I think if Hoplite creators got on a bit more short form content, they would get so many viral clips. Like I've seen some of the funniest clips come out of Hoplite, and like yeah, it's straight up like there are so many people who have like gold mines of content on their channel but aren't making any short form, and obviously it's just because like it takes a lot of time. It takes a decent amount of time, but I definitely think that's a way to make those videos stand out, because I guess like in the Minecraft space there's a lot of like quite professional videos, and like it is like a little bit of a niche to upload a Hoplite video. Like I do think like a lot of people just click anyway because they see Battle Royale in the title, and there's a lot of like stuff behind why those videos do well. But yeah, just kind of thinking about ways to like send people in to Hoplite in the first place is pretty cool. Yeah, short form content, creator events, like that's that's one of my big goals, just like expanding the Hoplite niche to kind of like a streamer event will just make it so that more people are interested in Hoplite, which in turn benefits the whole server, every single creator who's involved. So yeah.
Are you able to give it, because you've mentioned like this creator event a lot now, which isn't a problem because I can tell you're excited for it.
It's been something that I've been like planning for so much over the past couple of days, so it's just so fresh in my mind.
Are we able to get any leaks to like the littlest of leaks? Just anything that you can hint at for it, just for the sake of the podcast. Obviously, no pressure. If you can say no, I'm not forcing you. But if there is anything that you can mention, it'd be kind of cool to hear.
I guess like it will be a bit of a mix between an event and an SMP.
Ooh, okay.
SMP because like longer, and yeah, people playing for longer without it for the entire time being focused on like grinding gear allows for like lore and conflict and like kind of slowing down the pace. So yeah, I just think like a good, I mean, it's again like kind of similar to what I've been doing on my channel. Just designing a game makes a story, but there's still super intense conflicts. It's like just, I guess with my YouTube videos, like part of the reason why those videos worked is because nobody was really taking it seriously. It was just all my viewers who are like not super sweaty Minecraft players, and everybody kind of got that it was just more roleplay based and kind of yeah, that's part of the reason why it worked. But it's such an interesting like iteration to put on the event, making it so that every single person in there is a content creator that people know. And I guess beforehand, it's like trying to convince any creator to. I don't think there was really a place for something like what I have planned to happen before Hoplite existed. But now, like, streamers have a whole community who like the Hoplite style stuff. If an event is like in that format, and everything, it'll make like amazing content for the creators, but also make really interesting YouTube videos for everyone who's involved.
And something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited to see now, that it's like it just went from a hint on Twitter a few months ago to now actual like you are thinking of ideas, you are actively working towards this.
Mm-hmm.
And for any PvP creators out there who mostly do PvP, I want to say, as both as a viewer and just generally as a human being, nothing brings me more pleasure than watching a traditionally really try-hardy skilled PvP player suddenly hop into a situation like this and become like Lord Bing Bong of the mighty hammer and just fully commit to the roleplay aspect of it and just have fun with people. Like people sometimes some people can lose track of how fun it is to just let loose from the stress of feeling like you have to win something, which is why I think the meshing of the event is so fun. There's not really a stress to win. You're going to make good content out of it. So that's where your energy is going to be directed. It's not going to be try hard in communication and movement and trying to get the best loot immediately necessarily. We'll just create really good interactions. And I feel like I feel like people sometimes sometimes lose track of that. It can become a bit too sweaty, which loses entertainment value. But I think this has that level of entertainment value without taking away the possibility for you to still show off, oh yeah, I can play well. I can also roleplay. I can have fun.
Imagine like a Hoplite game turned into a longer SMP where people aren't just constantly grinding gear. There's like reasons for people to interact, and it's like slowed down in a good way. Like it's not just, oh, everybody has to roleplay, but it's a PvP event. There's like some cool ideas behind it. Like that's basically my like whole thing as a creator is game designing for stories, and then also knowing how to like turn it into a YouTube video. That's like how the idea of Hoplite came into action. So doing that kind of thing with a creator event, it's so exciting to me to be able to use those skills to make it shine. Well, obviously the first season is going to be like a kind of small scale thing, but to use those skills to benefit the creators who, you know, I just interact with a lot now and like have just known for ages is cool. Now that this opportunity with Hoplite's success has like been given to me, so
I'm excited to see where it goes.
yeah,
I guess
pretty cool.
I guess a bit more of a basic question, not as entertaining as, I mean, maybe it could be, who knows actually, is why the name Hoplite? Was there any reason for that name? Or was it like, 'cause you said you went through a few names, so why did you essentially, because Hoplite is obviously something else. If you search Hoplite on Google, it's something used in like the Roman Empire.
Yeah, they copied us. The Roman Empire,
copied you,
the Greek Empire copied us.
Man, it's actually crazy. And then for some reason they show up over Hoplite Minecraft servers. Absolutely outrageous, but you know.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind that name?
Well, yeah, the interesting topic there is YouTuber, like, the big decision was, will it be named around me? Because it's like my server, it's just, yeah. Or will it be named around something like the game mode, or just given a random name? And like straight away I knew that I didn't want to name it around myself, just because the whole philosophy behind the server is like, it's not really about me. Like obviously something that I like founded. First of all, like we have a giant team who do a ton of, you know, like make tons of new ideas possible and all of that kind of stuff. The way it all started was literally just, I made a massive document and then went to the owner of a UHC server that I like thought was really cool back in the day that had shut down, and then just said like, want to make a server? And he was just like, yeah, and then got some of the devs that he used to work with, so that was cool. I guess it's another example of like, yeah, past mistakes, like not in that way, but it's just like past experiences, like some things, like any Minecraft server, like you're gonna face trials and issues. So that experience for him was also a huge part of how building Hoplite's team was possible. Like, what was the topic again?
Where'd the name come from? Why'd you say Hoplite? I don't know, that's interesting. All of that was interesting, don't get me wrong, but it didn't answer the question.
Yeah, so basically I didn't want the server to be called like Silver MC. Like one of the names that the team were pushing for was literally just Silvera, and I think if you press F3 while on Hoplite, it just says that in the corner, like for the fork of Minecraft that we use. So yeah, like people, there is obviously, you can see why like you would name a server after yourself, because then your like community are like, oh, it's the SpeedSilver server, it'll be like his videos and nice and easy. But I really like that the server has its own identity and isn't completely about me, because it's not. Like I spend most of my time now that Hoplite's released, obviously like talking about the like working with admins and everything on what direction to take the server in, and like, but when it comes to actually designing the game modes and working with the team day to day, like that's all done by the rest of the team, so that I can focus on YouTube, and like, you know, all those guys are super capable, so there's no need. I think it's just cooler to have a server that isn't named after a creator. Now it sounds like I'm throwing shade Tubnet. I think they twisted it enough to like, it's not called Tubbo's fan club, it's just like, it's its own identity. So
no,
like,
it doesn't.
Everybody knows that. But yeah, so the name Hoplite basically kind of just fits the ancient aesthetics that I went for with like
and stuff.
with all the builds and stuff. Every build that's actually, no, a few of them have been made now that we like hired a full-time builder, but like all the lobbies and duels maps when they eventually release and all that kind of stuff. I like kind of made all the level design and like art style for that, and it kind of like just kind of that was the theme. I just wanted to go for like an ancient theme. I kind of like how it's, I don't know, just has a ring to it. It's short.
Well, it works, isn't it? Like I think if I saw Silveria in a title, no offense, obviously, because it's like named after you. It's not as clickable as Hoplite. Hoplite is such a clickable YouTube title. I think
Silveria says a bit fantasy, doesn't it? It says like fantasy RPG more so.
Whereas like Hoplite is very much like ancient.
Hoplite sounds like a group of. It almost sounds like a collection of people or like a character. I don't know. It
works. It just works.
Everyone hated it on the team apart from me, and I was like, we gotta do it. The name that we were about to end up with was AJX. And I was like, no.
That's not bad, but like, and it still doesn't. It just Hoplite has a ring to it, doesn't it? Really, like it just has like it's like with like the podcast. I was very thingy because it used to be called Inside Minecraft, and then I changed it to InsideMC. And then when I was gonna change it to InsideMC, I was like, I'm very. And then when I did change, I was like, actually, no, this is a lot better. Like Midweek MC was originally meant to be called Midweek Waffle, and I'm so glad I didn't go ahead with it. I'm so glad because Midweek MC is just so much better. It's so much brandable. It's so much more brandable. Hoplite is a lot more brandable than like Silveria or AJX, you know? Yeah,
the funny thing is though, Hoplite's kind of like become the name of the Battle Royale game mode. So when we add other game modes, people start saying like, oh, I want to play some Hoplite. It's like, where do I go? Like, I don't know. If people might have to start saying like Hoplite Battle Royale specifically, I guess they will, but or maybe they'll just saying Hoplite means Battle Royale, but then you can specify which other game mode.
Can I say something quickly, just because in anticipation, if anybody, we said earlier when we were talking about the Hoplite name first, you guys said it was Roman. I feel like there's going to be some nerd emojis in the comment going, it's actually Greek. So I think that I should acknowledge that first, because having a historian in the group who doesn't point that out, I feel is quite an egregious flaw in my degree.
My bad. I mean, it's just all PvP though, isn't it, really, at the end of the day?
The Greeks and the Romans used to love PvP. They really, really loved it.
Yeah. My bad, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just had to be the
dragon
nerdy emoji.
scatters as well.
True. I guess to like add on more like with the questions of like Hoplite and stuff like that as well is I had one and then Roman stepped in. Oh my god, I've lost it. It's like
yes, I'm here to hinder you
with the whole games and stuff as well. Obviously, I know it's something that you can't really hint at. Like, I don't want to hear what the exact game is, but do you have like a I guess as of right now, and for the viewer, if I do get an answer here, it doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen in 2024. How many new games are you hoping to release on Hoplite? I think that's a good question.
I'd say one.
Oh, only one. Like, oh, okay. And it's gonna be a bigger game?
Yes. Well, it depends. It could be one, or it could be like 20.
Inside one.
It depends if we want to make a big one, or if we want to like make a sort of mini games type thing. Like a party games, whatever. Just because, like, I feel like all those mini party game things are just super fun. Like, I just personally want to stream some, like, you know, spleef and like whatever. That was the most dishonest thing.
Chat.
That was the most dishonest thing. Spleef is like the least fun of those game modes. The one that comes to mind, I can't think of the name of it. It's the one where you like have to like get the crafting recipe. It tells you a crafting recipe. You have to go grab the items from the like.
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about.
Like, make it. That for some reason I just like that.
Imagine that, and you can hit other people in other rooms.
Yeah, constant.
The voices
screaming about how to make a piston because they can't remember it.
And then you can technically help people as well. Like you just like kind of go to hi. Do you know how to make this? Can you help?
Yeah. With adding game modes, it's like it's so different to back in the day when Minecraft servers, like YouTubers would just make videos on anything, because the game mode has to, for it to be worthwhile, like has to make YouTube content, in my opinion. So we aren't just gonna like throw anything out there. It'll be like good if we make anything. We already do have plans for something, but they aren't solidified enough to even like hint. I guess like
we can leave it there. Like I don't want you to accidentally say something you shouldn't say.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's good. Like that's a good enough answer to the question I was looking for.
I just want to get people hyped, man. It's just like
this is technically getting like, I mean, it's getting me hyped anyways. The fact that you have a passion, you have an idea, but the fact that we know you have something in the pipelines, I think is good enough to build hype. We don't even have to know what it is. It's just the fact that you're hyped about it and you're ready for it and you're planning it. It's like I think that's good enough to be like, okay, that's gonna be good. Because you had the exact same thing when you made when you made Hoplite in the first place, and look how good it's turned out.
I guess the thing is, like, if it makes good YouTube content, it's because it's actually like interesting. If it's interesting to watch, it's going to be interesting to play.
Exactly.
So the point is, like, if we make another game mode, it's going to be good. Like, and we will make another game mode. But yeah, it might be like a fair amount of time because Duels isn't even released yet. We want to like add some stuff to that. But yeah, lots of big plans in 2024. Like the entire team of Hoplite are people who've had a ton of experience in the Minecraft server space, Minecraft multiplayer space, and it's crazy just working with people who are this passionate and like, yeah, I guess just this motivated to drive everything forward.
The revival of Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like that thing I was talking about YouTube. You know, I played the YouTube game for like 2 years, like going full optimization, trying to blow up and all this stuff, and it was interesting. And then it kind of gets boring for a while, and like that can probably be even more long-lived for a Minecraft server because like there's so much more fulfillment that you get out of like having an entire community around your server, seeing content creators make stuff out of it. So I think first of all that'll get stale less quick, but also like we're just at the beginning of being given a chance like to actually scale up, make an impact on the community. So I'm just really hopeful, and I think we're gonna completely change the game.
I remember my question from earlier due to your answer, which is cool. It's like,
why do we choose name? Like, I never answered it.
Sorry.
I thought you were gonna say I still haven't answered.
No, you did. You did. It was a really good answer. No, I'm saying from your answer, it's reminded me of like my old question. So Hoplite is, you know, in Civilization is 90 players. 90 players for a single game, right? And you have maybe right now. I don't know how many players are online right now. Actually, I haven't got the stats put up. But I know just from watching the stream that I'm watching, there's 2 games in rotation at the minimum. That's 180 players, give or take, playing, right? You took a really big risk releasing Hoplite by making it such a large player count in the sense of 60 for solos, 90 for Civilization. And you mentioned at the start of the podcast that like you knew like you mentioned was it on the podcast or was it on somewhere else? Yeah, I just remember you mentioning at one point was that like, you know, due to like having a Discord. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't even on the podcast. Sorry, it was on a video that I watched. You mentioned that due to having like a Discord, you knew you was going to have at least like 500 players because you have an active Discord. It's like, it was a big risk you took, right? Releasing a game like this, and like when you looked at the percentages, what kind of percentages do you have that it was gonna actually pay off? Because it has, like, obviously now we looking back on it, it has cooked essentially. But how confident were you at the time of hitting that release button? Like, am I going to cook?
Well, an interesting thing is like recently I stopped uploading on the SpeedSilver Plus channel. Like I think I had 2 filler videos, but like I've only uploaded 3 times in the last month. And the reason why is because I viewed my main channel and the SpeedSilver Plus channel as like conflict of interest. So it's like my main channel videos just take a ton of focus to narrate, like write the script and narrate a long Minecraft event. It all has to be fresh in my mind. And I kind of felt like I wasn't able to really get into it. I also just was having so much fun with Hoplite and just so enjoying that so much more. Because I guess like not only is it a YouTube, like good for YouTube, but it's also the server, it helps the server be successful. So I kind of stopped to focus on my main channel and I got a video in the works and all this stuff. That's when I realized if I can like get a bit of a crossover and run like a creator event with all the Hoplite people that's Hoplite themed and make that my next big story, it's like it just everything lines up. So now when I play Hoplite and when I upload on the SpeedSilver Plus channel, I feel like I'm contributing to something bigger. And even just like training, like getting better at PvP is going to be good for the events that I'm planning, like the creator event that I'm planning on. Yeah, the question was like taking a risk with the server getting enough fills, but it all comes down to like as long as I'm making YouTube videos and the game mode's fun, it's set, and it's like we have a super passionate team that just want to keep updating it, and I'm also super passionate about like taking this content to its fullest. I just genuinely have fun while I'm recording, and I think that is like a YouTube strategy in itself. Like if you have fun while you're recording, then you're just going to be more energetic. The viewer can tell and might engage with the community more. Yeah, like there were lots of ways that Hoplite could have gone. It could have just been a very low-key thing just for a couple Twitch streams that I did, but I'm so glad that the community like it. And the big risk was whether people will like the new PvP version, because a lot of the community members were people who used to play 1.8 UHC, and they kind of had to learn a new PvP version. But I think what we kind of saw is just like, it's kind of fun becoming a noob again. Like, because you know exactly, people who have really good game sense and are really good at UHC or Battle Royale type stuff are literally just getting rolled in fights when they first start playing. And it's almost like refreshing. Like, it's kind of repetitive to win every single fight. And I do just think 1.9 PvP makes the skill gap a little bit like lower between the best players, which is nice, because then as long as you know how to like get crits and just do the basics of PvP, you can do pretty well in Hoplite, which is probably a big part of why it can sustain quite a lot of players. People aren't so discouraged and they don't feel like they're terrible if they can't perfectly use a fishing rod and stuff like in 1.8.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, there's a good answer. Once again, you're very good at answering these questions with like kind of other topics as well, if that makes sense. Like, it's not, it just, when I ask a question, it doesn't mean you have to only answer that question specifically. You can kind of go off on like little tangents and stuff, which is why it's a podcast. You know, when it's not just an interview, I'm asking one specific question, I only want that answer. I'm happy to hear kind of whatever answer you give me, in a sense, or give us even, sorry.
Yeah, I definitely went on a tangent there, but it's like I started a topic which was whether I wanted to make YouTube videos on Hoplite, and that's like the risk, and then I realized it's kind of a lot to talk about there, so yeah.
I'm happy to hear it.
The biggest impediment for me was when 1.8 PvP was a thing. Like, I used to enjoy playing it when it was just like with friends, we did badly, we didn't mind. As soon as I started trying to get into things more recently, when things started being a little bit more, I mean, the past few years, that is, not like super recently, when it started to feel a bit more sweaty because people knew more and I missed out on a lot of it because I was busy with university for years. Suddenly I got into it and I was like, 1.8 PvP, I have to use a fishing rod? Since when has this been a thing? Back in my day, I used to just click with my sword and die, and that was fine. Suddenly there's like, oh, there's rod PvP, there's like all these different types of, and then speed bridging evolved into like this wild, just people do crazy thing. I mean, just look at fruit berries. How do you manage to invent fruit bridging? So I just missed out on all this history for several years. But then 1.9 PvP felt like an oldie friendly, or I suppose like a casual player friendly mode of PvP that allowed me to get into this kind of thing. So Hoplite being like a reimagining of these kind of very well established PvP trends from 1.8, like UHC, reimagining that into a 1.9 format finally allows me to actually have fun with it, because back in, like, I tried 1.8 UHC, I got destroyed. I can't click that fast. I can't use a rod that well. I don't have the time to learn it because I have to do university. And 1.9 PvP feels like such a beginner friendly kind of thing. Like, sure, you might take a long time to master certain things, but 1.9 PvP, I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, I do genuinely prefer it just because of the fact that it feels easier to pick up on a base level. And I appreciate UHC not being a 1.8.9 thing anymore.
Yeah, it is also just weird how fishing rods became part of PvP. Like, imagine doing that in real life, you know? Like, it's not very realistic.
That'd hurt getting hooked by a fishing rod.
Can you imagine having a fight at the bar or the pub? Sorry,
Just whips
imagine
out
having a
fishing
fight at the pub and you get a fishing hook through your cheek.
Ow.
Yeah,
That's a victory, I suppose. No one's gonna fight with a fishing hook in their face. Maybe they were onto something.
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like 1.8 PvP was pretty much like an accident from Mojang. Like, I don't think they even they obviously just didn't make Minecraft for it to be a PvP game, and there wasn't much thought put into the combat. So it's funny how it turned out to become such a popular thing. Like, you know, skill gap in 1.8 was just absolutely crazy. Like, at my prime, I won one of the Hypixel tournaments, the one of the Blitz survival games tournaments. It's actually like crazy how good you can get at 1.8. And there's still definitely a lot of skill. Like, in 1v1 duels, there's a huge skill ceiling for 1.9. But definitely, like, when you're in a battle royale setting and there's like terrain to trip up on, people have different weird items that add variables to the fight, like the legendaries, for example. Yeah, it's nice how like you aren't super discouraged if you lose a fight, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel that as somebody. I started learning PvP basically last year in November. I guess I started learning the basics of it, and I only really played it with other people this year because I didn't really have many Minecraft playing friends at the time that I only met this year. So it's something that I feel you can pick up much quicker than 1.8 PvP, which is, I think, maybe because of the fact that it's on accident. It's just really technical. Like it's not as if Mojang picked up these mechanics and purposely said learn rod PvP. And I feel like that's what makes it so fiddly.
Rod
Yeah.
PvP or you're bad.
I was actually watching a video like on the history of recorded round UHCs recently, and there's one of the cube UHCs that happened back in the day. They invited a sweaty PvPer called Grape Applesauce.
I
It was the
remember
first
Grape
person to
Applesauce,
use was the first person to use a fishing rod in one of the cube UHCs, and it's like people's horror when they started getting like comboed by some weird item they'd never like used. It's so funny to look back on that was the PvP version. It was good
It's
though.
definitely not a concept, yeah. Also, something else that we wanted to ask about. So we were talking about Hoplite and how it kind of came out of nowhere. That was something that I do the research for InsideMC and sometimes Midweek MC, and I was doing research for this one as well. And when I was looking through the history of Hoplite, I saw that it started basically, like you said, like a couple months before it came out. And I remember distinctly the first time that I saw anything of Hoplite. It was gameplay footage. It was straight up just footage of Battle Royale with like oh yeah, this server is going to come out and it has voice chat, it has proximity chat, and it's really cool and it's 1.20. And that was the first thing that I saw was straight up footage with that tagline, and it was being shared by a few other PvPers and and stuff like that. And that was right before it came out. But even then, without that, leaving it for like when you were actually ready to have a solid product, which is a really clever strategy, I might say, because promising too much and under-delivering is the worst thing that you can do with any product, and especially with a server like this. We've seen a lot of servers crash and burn because they fail to deliver their promises and they came out way too early. So even then, when you had this whole plan set and this whole idea of what you wanted to put out there and when you want to do it, there was still a 2-week delay when you guys were about to come out. Was there anything like in particular that caused that, or was it just simple technical issues?
That was, but I don't think I want to get into it. Big changes in the team. Nothing like that. Yeah, just I'm not gonna get into it. I think someday I'm gonna make a video like really diving into the story behind the server's creation, because there were just so many crazy steps in the process. Just to get into like just to summarize the story, like I said, it was started when I made Civilization videos, and the first proper name for the server was SpeedSilver. And the game mode was gonna be like 33 versus 33 versus 33 with a bit more like roleplay, all that kind of stuff involved. But we kind of just decided to I switched my content to the battle royale direction, and we kind of decided to take it in that direction just because I think it's like fundamentally not that replayable, and Minecraft server games have to be like somewhat short if they're gonna be in like a mini game format. So the roleplay stuff just is best for like YouTube videos and content creator events or like friends only SMPs, but it's not really scalable to like a big audience. So yeah, we eventually moved down the like battle royale path. We also didn't want to have no regeneration. Like we wanted to just not have gapples be a thing, just so it's like easier to digest to new players. But then after doing so much testing, we realized like it just plays so much better if you can't naturally regenerate. Like people are incentivized to fight. It's crazy to look back on the genius of the guys, the Minecraft guys who like came up with the UHC name. But what's also interesting to look back on is like how they just named it UHC. So it is a good name, ultra hardcore, like, but they just named it that, and that snowballed into like 10 years later Minecraft UHC bot videos being made. And it's funny how like such a abstract phrase that no new viewer is gonna understand became like the key word in YouTube titles. But it does work. Like everybody knew what it. Well, once you'd watched one video, you knew what it meant. It's a battle royale type thing.
It's quite funny, but most people that I talk to don't know what UHC stands for, but they know what UHC is. Like I was actually one of those people too. I thought it was Ultimate Hardcore for a long time. I didn't know it was Ultra. I learned that like last year. So I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it was, what it stood for.
Yeah.
In regards to like the whole battle royale aspect as well, kind of touching on like the release thing as well, is when I saw it be announced, I was actually like, oh, this looks kind of sick. And PvP just really isn't my forte. I'm just not good. I'm just not good at PvP. But when I saw it, I was like, oh, it looks really cool, but like I saw the dragon gliding in and stuff. I was like, oh, this is kind of just like a battle royale game mode. And because I didn't really look into it too much other than that, I just thought it was going to be like another Tubnet game mode in a sense. And then when it kind of released and it was all this different stuff, and I was like, oh my, this is actually really different, really like cool, you know? And it's like it was kind of interesting to see that it was like kind of advertised as a battle royale game mode, and it is a battle royale game mode, but it's not like the Tubnet one, for example. Is very different, and you know, it's kind of the first successful version of this game mode, you can say, that we've seen a Minecraft server produce. Because I know I think Lifeboat on Bedrock Edition had a battle royale game mode as well. I'm not sure if the Java Edition version ever did, and it just wasn't. You could build staircases and stuff, like it was actually kind of like Fortnite, but it was just so laggy and the gameplay was just so poor. So it was nice to finally see one that's kind of actually worked, you know?
Yeah, like the thing that I just think about Minecraft game modes is when they're trying to be something that isn't Minecraft, or when you're trying to recreate a different game in Minecraft, it's just not really good enough to like stand out long term. And like the fact that the game is Minecraft, I just think game modes with Minecrafty elements are so much better, where you go mining. Because the reason why somebody would play Hoplite over Fortnite is because they want to like go mining in an open world, loot structures. I mean, maybe the proximity chat plays into it as well, but it's because it's in Minecraft that becomes a good thing. Because if you just like say somebody recreated Lethal Company in Minecraft, it would just not be as good. Like those games, the fact that they can make super precise graphics and like control how it looks and all that kind of stuff, start a new art style, that's their strengths. And Minecraft's like making a Minecraft server game mode, the strength is that you have Minecraft already made for you. In a way, like I guess it can be more limiting than like things like Roblox and Fortnite Creative, where you can like have completely customized everything. I think the guy who made Lethal Company, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's like a game that blew up quite recently. Like you go into a haunted building, extract things, and then earn money, and you have to but the reason why it's just so fun is because it has proximity chat. It's really scary like visuals, and you also like you can only hold one thing at a time. I think I actually can't remember. I've only played it once, but I liked it. And if you want to use your flashlight and see in the dark and see if there are monsters coming for you, you have to stop holding your walkie-talkie and communicating with like other people, and it's super intense. And it's like if something like that got recreated in Minecraft and you just had these like blocky like creepy things, it just wouldn't be as good. And like, but something that would be good is Hoplite, but with weird monsters in the caves. Like if we had an update with like custom creatures, I don't know, just because you're actually playing Minecraft and people like that.
I do want to ask as well, kind of just, it's a kind of hard transitioning from this because I don't really have anything to build on that because it's a perfect answer in a sense, really. Actually, no, I guess it kind of links to it because it's still talking about like the Battle Royale game mode is in a sense of, we have like the OP weapons as well. Obviously, you introduced the idea. Two that really stand out to me is, and I'm going to butcher the name here, Mijonia, why can't I say it? Thor's Hammer, there we go. You know, Thor's Hammer stands out to me. There's the Scyther as well, the Scythe, which is really cool. A Twitter question I have coming up, they said their favorite one is the pufferfish cannon. I know there's also that the warden bow. I don't know the name of it, sorry, I know it's really bad. I don't know. It's like it's the bow that shoots and it's like has the warden. I don't even know any of the warden
the
names.
Skulk crossbow.
See, I don't even know that's the thing, I don't even know the name of Skulk. That's the issue. So yeah, the Skulk crossbow. It's like all of that kind of stuff adds to it so much. So what was kind of the inspiration behind adding like these legendary weapons, and in a sense of this many? Because there's also the ender pearl bow as well, where you can like shoot and teleport. It's like where did kind of all the inspiration come from, and why these kind of specific ones?
Well, yeah, this year I've been doing these Battle Royale 100 player videos, and I was like one of the first people out of all the YouTubers doing like big stories involving 100 players, proximity chat, all that kind of stuff, to try the switch of first person. And I was like, if I want to keep it just from my POV, how am I gonna make it entertaining and not get boring and repetitive? And one of the biggest, just one of the ways that I do that is by setting tons of big goals and like things to work towards. So in those videos, I had the exact same legendary weapons, the Midas sword, except it was like 64 gold blocks, a notch apple, blaze rods, like all these things that take a long time to grind for. And that makes my long video, like 2-hour long video, just stay interesting to people, because instead of it just being about winning, it's like I was gonna try get blaze rods for the Midas sword, so I went to the Nether. Then everyone's like super invested on whether I get into the fortress properly, rather than me just aimlessly walking around a world. And then yeah, like it's the same kind of thing where legendary weapons are interesting to people in Hoplite videos. I actually noticed back when I used to make Hypixel UHC videos, I just remembered that some of the custom crafts ended up making really popular outlier YouTube videos, just simply because like setting a goal and going for it and getting that item midway through the video really like paces it nicely, and it's just good storytelling. So that's kind of why I added them to my main channel videos, and then I also added them to Hoplite because I think it makes just entertaining YouTube videos. Some of the highest viewed Hoplite videos are about legendary weapons, but also like I've kind of seen a bit of a repetition where like there's also a lot you can do in Hoplite apart from legendary weapon videos. But yeah, like the inspiration was basically I guess like Hypixel Skyblock, Hypixel UHC, just any game with like custom crafts, even just the Minecraft bot videos, 100 days videos, like that. I also had to pace those well and set mini goals, so I added a bunch of custom recipes to those.
I just think it's cool, like the ideas you have, because yeah, like you mentioned, they kind of stem from the videos again. It's just it all adds kind of down to the interesting part of how Hoplite is stemmed so much from your YouTube channel. You know, like with Tubnet, how you mentioned like it's kind of named a little bit after Tubbo. The server itself doesn't actually stem from his content at all. Like it has no links. Like it's the same name but a completely different server, whereas yours is a different name but very, very much links to your whole content and content style, content ideas. And it's just interesting to see how much links, and it'll be interesting to see how much more links into it, because obviously you used to do Minecraft butt content. I'm sure with Hoplite you can do like a lot of like Minecraft butt. I only use like the Midas sword or Minecraft, that kind of idea, you know. And it's just interesting how much you can kind of do your own content, or like throughout the years your own content on the server that you've made, in a sense. You know, like
yeah,
private games could I simulated 100. I simulated a civilization in Hoplite. You know, it's just, you know what I mean? Like you've just stemmed it perfectly to match your content. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's one of the most exciting things for me is like having a big goal with like a lot of strategy behind it. Like I can't really, because for the last year I've been doing something unique on YouTube, and like came up with a plan to switch to first person videos. Like I just wanted to try something new there and like progress my storytelling and everything. But at the same time as doing that, I was also like getting Hoplite ready, and it was all part of like the master plan. Now Hoplite's released, it's not really as exciting to like kind of, because Hoplite's linked to the Battle Royale series, and I've ended that and I've done the finale. No like finale rematches, all that kind of stuff. So the part like what I was going to do is start doing like some twists and like making the videos a bit more unique, and maybe not, instead of Battle Royale, making it like zombie apocalypse or whatever, you know, just some different twists. But that just stems away from Hoplite, and there isn't too much overlap. That's the thing I was saying about like, it felt like I was having to choose between putting my effort into SpeedSilver Plus or my main channel. But yeah, like the thing that's most exciting to me is when everything benefits each other, and like I'm working towards a bigger goal. And my bigger goal at the moment is to like make events to add to the streamer space by also being insane for YouTube, and just like also just all these streamers and Hoplite creators that have kind of come back to the scene because like they're enjoying Hoplite and then they've got back into content creation. Like some of those people have all of those people have like so much potential if they're involved in like stories and things like that. It's just not every creator has the time or like kind of I guess like time or interest to set up giant like events as well as streaming and making videos, which is why we've probably seen like so many people just either quit or just go to Twitch. So yeah, like just taking the Minecraft community further with a plan that also benefits Hoplite, because those are creators who engage with the server, is just so cool to me. But I don't want to speak too soon. I haven't done anything, but like the event's in development, so it's like, yeah.
And even without the event, players can still kind of technically play in a SpeedSilver video whenever they want without kind of SpeedSilver video part. Hoplite Civilization, you know, you vote for a king, you PvP, and it's like, you know, it's not like exactly the same, but it's still the idea is there. So, you know, people can technically say they played him on. I guess then the final topic before we move on to the Twitter questions, and that's obviously after this you have anything else you'd like to add yourself, is duels. So we talked a little bit about it on the podcast. We haven't actually touched on it as a topic itself. Duels is something that's going to be coming to Hoplite. There already is like the lobby one, but like 1v1 duels. Is there anything you can kind of give us on that? Will it be coming out before this podcast comes out? Is it gonna, like, how close is it, give or take, to being ready to be released?
We're yet to announce the exact date, but it's going to be playable first of all for VIPs
And
in like an
content
early
creators,
access state. Yeah, it's actually already playable for content creators.
Oh, cool.
But not too many people have been streaming it just because I guess there's nobody to fill the games. Like it's only content creators, and then like who's gonna be already queued up sitting there. But yeah, the VIP is gonna be coming out in mid-December. And then we're gonna make it like accessible to everybody a bit later on. Yeah, it's just really exciting. The thing that's so cool about it is like for those people who are a bit discouraged and think they're not very good at PvP, it's like play like a couple hours of duels, learn to get crits on people properly, and you can go into Hoplite and get kills. Like it's really not difficult. Like obviously there's a lot of game sense to pick up in Battle Royale. But it's fun when it's about game sense and it's not about you're not just getting demolished in every single fight with no hope, even if you played the game perfectly.
I once again referring to the other thing I watched, you mentioned in it that like you're going to be able to use absolutely everything, like the legendary weapons. You're going to be able to kind of practice with absolutely everything you can on Hoplite. Is there anything that you've got planned, and you don't have to say what it is, I just want a yes or a no for this. Is there anything planned with duels that makes it stand out to other like 1.19 or 1.20 plus like PvP duel servers?
First thing is, on most other duel servers, you queue with like signs, and they kind of split it into like servers so that queuing takes a long time. Whereas for us, the same thing you see on like Hypixel and some other duel servers, where you literally just choose the type of duel and it instantly sends you into one. It doesn't matter if you're in a different lobby to people, which is cool because then you just get into duels so much quicker. The other thing is like obviously legendary weapons, being able to train with those, and those add like so many funny aspects to everything. Then we have like a new type of leveling system where you level each type of kit. So you can become like level 10 in UHC, but level 50 in Archer, and like like you can kind of show off the kits you're best at and have that as your prefix instead of just an overall star level, which is quite fun for grinding.
That's quite interesting actually, yeah.
And then apart from that, we just put a ton of effort into our like custom kit editor, giving it every single feature for funny duels. And again, like I think that's something that can just make some really good YouTube content. Like me personally, I'm just gonna make a bunch of like interesting creator 1v1 videos on there for my second channel, just because I feel like there are so many streamers on Hoplite that people are curious about who's better. And it's just a fun concept. And then just making funny custom kits. The other thing that's been crazy is seeing the streamer we have like private games, and you can just invite like all your viewers or whatever with some funny settings, like split everybody into teams or like a giant FFA. So yeah, definitely a lot of unique stuff with that. It should be cool.
Yeah, with the whole like pro games thing as well is so back on Munchkin, referring to Bedrock Edition here. It's just used to be my old content for so long. It's easy to refer to it quite a lot. I hosted like 2 tournaments with like they were like Skywars 1v1 tournaments basically on Hive, and they're like it was for charity. So who knows? Like people might even like create 1v1 duel tournaments. So will there be like different forms of duels? I'm not sure if this has been announced, and I'm sorry if it has, but like is it just gonna be solos or will there be duos as well?
It's basically 1v1 2v2, and then if you want bigger queues, you have to make a private party.
Will we ever see like duo Civilization as well? Duo like Hoplite, like Battle Royale as well? Because right now it's solo and Civilization, right? So will there be any other modes is what I mean, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna add limited time modes, so I think we might just do a simple duos
See
thing.
how it goes, yeah.
But I think the idea is probably to double up duos with like another interesting twist. So Yeah, definitely plans for future game modes. The thing to just keep in mind is like it's so good for new players if civilization mode exists, because you can kind of get just bigger teams, kind of makes team play more important. You can also get teamed up with like better people if you're not very good at the game, and you kind of have more hope of winning, and it is just good for content too.
Yeah, exactly.
And duos would be even more like sweaty. Well, I guess like if there are good teams and someone gets dropped, then like it kind of works out. But yeah, like we kind of already know that Battle Royale is a game that is like hard to win unless you're like really good at the game. So I like adding twists to it that add a bit of like wackiness to the game. 50v50 I think is going to be the first one, so that'll be fun.
Ooh, mega battle royale.
Heck yeah.
Interesting to say. That's actually a really cool idea.
I gotta say,
never even think about that.
50v50 is one of the best things for a video. Like just watching it, I mean, and also just playing in it. I've
Yeah.
never done a video like that, but being in one has always been the most fun thing ever. I actually did like I love the scale of everything that you do, because one of the most fun experiences I've had has been in like there was this charity event that happened a few months ago that was like basically like teams of 100 or more people in like a Bed Wars thing going up against each other with Fox chat. That was really, really fun. It was so chaotic. We got absolutely rolled and destroyed by the sweatier players who knew what they were doing, but it was so fun. It was absolutely amazing just because that so many people and so many interactions. Even losing is fun. That's the tagline for whenever you advertise the 50v50. Even losing is a good time.
I think we actually
I
had
absolutely
it
love that.
planned for the very beginning of January. That's the one leak I don't mind giving, because it's like, well, I don't know. It's just
it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
yeah.
No pressure.
Before we get into, I believe, Roman, do you have a Twitter question, or is it just me?
It's already been answered. The one that I had. The ones that
Okay,
I
so we
selected,
just have
rather.
one Twitter question then. That's all good. Before we get into it then, is there anything else you wanted to talk about that we didn't mention on the podcast and you'd like to talk about? Or have we pretty much covered every aspect that we could?
Yeah, an interesting question is like, how much potential do you think the podcast stuff has, and what are your future plans with it? Just because I find it so interesting looking at different areas of YouTube. One of the really interesting ones is like how the shift towards storytelling has happened in like just IRL content, like the whole Mr. Beast versus like Ryan Trahan style stuff. Like they're both different approaches, more personality based with Ryan Trahan, and like just how like simple videos can become so good with stories. That's one that I've applied a ton to like what I've been doing with the Minecraft space. But the other one that's really interesting is like podcasts. Like podcast clips blow up so much, you know, even with like talking with such random people. And I feel like this Minecraft, like there's just so many Minecraft creators. Like the space is just so massive that I don't know. I'm excited to see where you take this stuff, and I want to see you getting on Eclipse channel. I want to see SpeedSilver leaks Hoplite streamer event like after this, because yeah, it would go crazy.
So so I have a podcast like team behind me, but it's not like, so AJX is the main co-host of Midweek MC. That's their role in the team, and they also kind of help with ways to improve marketing. There's been a lot of improvements in the last year since the return of just how I've advertised the podcast and how I've gotten it out there. Like 60% is myself, 40% is ideas from AJX. One of the big ones was him like telling me to move the upload time of the podcast. So that's his role. We have like we have Roman, who does the research. She actually did the research, majority of the research for you and this podcast, as well as like partial myself. Tortil is working on something that I can't disclose right now because it's just not public, so it's just something to look forward to, I guess. There's Oracat, who does all the thumbnails designs. He does like the guest announcements, all that kind of stuff, which actually there's like a funny thing with one of the designs that it's getting announced like at the end of the year, so we'll see. And then there's Bendo, who is also working on something I can't talk about. But like with the whole podcast team, that they're all volunteers, I guess, other than Aura, because like he makes all the designs, so I pay him for it. But everything else is done by me: the scheduling, the recording, the contacting, the editing. Like this podcast is going to be entirely edited by myself. It's going to be uploaded by myself, scheduled. All of like the tweet announcements, all that kind of stuff is all done by myself. And then I used to have a highlights channel, which wasn't like amazing. It was kind of just like 2-minute clips, basically just slapped onto a thing. Some were shorts. The shorts ones did alright. I kind of dwelled into that. But like at that point, like I want it to be manageable. You know, I don't want to like overdo my myself. And I think having someone I need to like dedicate their entire time to clips. It's just, I don't really want to do that as like a volunteer position. So the podcast is getting closer to monetization. It is getting quite close. And I know I'm not going to be earning loads from it, but the fact it's getting this close and it can be earning me money is something to look at. And it's like, I've put a lot of money into the podcast on paying people for stuff and doing stuff. And it's like, right now with clips, it's just too much on my own plate. And, you know, with hiring someone full time for it, it means I can put a lot more trust into them easier because I'm paying them. Whereas like a volunteer is like, it's very reliant, if that makes sense. So it's something I'm looking into, something that probably won't happen now until like at the 2024. And if it does happen, what I'll do is I'll go back through, I'll get like the person to go back through every single podcast and like, you know, clip stuff that's not outdated in a sense. For instance, like at the time, the event might have happened already. So it wouldn't really make much sense to make a clip about it. But it's just, yeah, I've got a lot of plans for it, got a lot of stuff planned, and that's why I'm slowly building a bigger and a bigger team behind me. It's just, some stuff is just a bit too much on plate and some of it costs, and I just can't really warrant it right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, I think alone with like getting the guests and contacting the guests, something I'm looking into is adding chapters to the podcast, which is something I should have really been doing from the get-go and I just never did. There's a lot of stuff that I should have been doing from the get-go and I've kind of learned it as I went on, but one of them is chapters, and I need to get around to adding chapters every podcast, and so that's also a big thing. But like, I mean, with the Fruit Berries podcast, for example, somebody clipped something that he said and put it on the Reddit, and the Reddit got like a crap ton of views. So, you know, just little things like that. It's kind of also more partially hoping that people clip this, if that makes sense. Like, as of right now, people voluntarily clip it and post it on Reddit, or they post it on Twitter or something, you know. So it's something it's something I've looked into. It's something I definitely want to do. But I announced earlier this year that I was taking a break from the Highlights channel as soon as I introduced Midweek MC, because it was just too much. And I kind of just enjoy sitting down talking. It's not something, the podcast, obviously I want it to grow and I want it to do really, really well, and I'm trying to utilize as much as I can to make it grow, but it's not something I'm hell-bent on doing. It's more so just, it's still a passion project. I have other forms of income, I have other stuff like that I do. It's just something that I really, really enjoy doing. I enjoy talking to a different creator, and it's something that if it does well, it does well, and I'm going to try and make it do well, but I'm not going to like because if I started bringing back highlights and I started getting clips and clipping everything and doing all that kind of stuff, it drained me out, and that's what the Highlights channel was doing. It was draining me out, and it, for like a little bit of period of time, I didn't really want to do, like, I was getting kind of bored of it, and that's why as soon as I cut out, I got really passionate about it again, kind of thing. So
yeah. Fair enough.
I hope that answers that well.
Yeah,
it's something I'm looking into. It's something cool, and yeah, I mean, you it's all like a process, right? You joining, you've helped, and I will look at, maybe, who knows, I might clip it and I might slap it on Twitter. I might do like clips that I can turn into shorts. I might do, but it's just a lot right now, going back, exporting it, getting down a minute. It's like, especially because I do all of that myself, it's like adding more to it, kind of thing. But
yeah, but all the stuff I was talking about earlier, with like it being a really good thing for the Minecraft space, at least for a few creators to stand out off of kind of more personality, story-based content, this podcast is like definitely taking the community in that kind of direction, and it's a nice way for like creators who are in a similar position to myself, who have like a ton of just interesting things to talk about. Like, I made a freaking Minecraft server, there's a science strategy behind that, but like there's never really a time where I talk about it because I make my videos like sharp and I don't stream too often. So yeah, I really like what you're doing. I think this has tons of potential, and the viewers who are watching at the moment, it's very cool that you are this engaged with the Minecraft community. And I truly think like the creators in this space are just so entertaining. There's so many like really, really talented people, and Minecraft is gonna blow up again in 2024. It's not that like Minecraft is like super dead, but it's definitely in a space where like there aren't like crazy, I don't know, it's not what it has been in like previous peak years. There's just not anything like super crazy going on. I guess I think of things more just about the PvP community, but yeah, like just exciting things gonna be happening next year, I think. And that shift where creators move away from optimization or are a little bit bored of it, all that kind of stuff, is just gonna hopefully be more interesting for the people who are actually engaged in this kind of content.
I appreciate it. I know like you're just talking about, but just before what you said there about the whole podcast, I appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you. I'm trying my best, you know, and I think it's one of the main things about the podcast as well, is because I bring on creators of all sizes. You know, like next week's Midweek MC is just a friend. Last week's Midweek MC was just with Roman, a friend, and it's like, you know, it's just cool to talk to a range of creators, and it's like you said, it's something that maybe you've had these thoughts, and I get a few comments on the podcast sometimes as well, like, I would have never thought to ask that, or like sometimes after the podcast, guests are like, oh, like you made me answer something I never thought of answering, and I guess that's the thing, because we do. That's why I built a team of like myself and Roman, is because I look into it so deeply to make sure I kind of cover as many aspects as I can, and sometimes I have like, you know, like guests answering questions that they've only just thought of the answer to because they would have never pre-planned to answer that kind of question. I think it's just a fun little thing. It gives creators a space to talk about themselves. It's the perfect opportunity for if ever like a viewer asks a question on it, or if viewer wants to find out more about them, they can come back and find this podcast, for example. And it's just, you know, and it's also good for you to look back on as well, like when Hoplite's a year down the line and you've been hinting at all this stuff. If you like ever like, and this is gonna be a long one, but you know, you could come back and in this podcast and be like, oh, like I hinted at that, or I said this and this has changed. It's like, it's just a fun little thing to look back on in a year or two down the line to see where you were and how you've grown, kind of thing.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's like an archive. And I love the podcast, man. I just love talking to a range of creators, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, and I stay so passionate about it, because this is my entertainment. My entertainment isn't an optimization. My entertainment isn't like in, you know, finding the best ways to grow on YouTube. Mine is just getting a chance to talk to, because I mean, you know, like you have like you mentioned, you have like what, over 3 million subscribers. I can't even remember the exact stats. Sorry, you have over 3 million subscribers, right? And you're sitting down on a podcast with less than 1,000 subscribers, and you could have easily said no, you know, but the podcast has kind of been proven that like we can keep it well, we can do a good interesting conversation, and it can be entertaining, but the numbers don't prove that. Like it's me as a person. I don't need the numbers to get, like, in quotation marks, larger creators to come on the podcast, you know?
Yeah, it's just like being able to flow topics and give interesting takes on stuff is what makes it good for the creators to come on here. And like I just watched a couple of the other ones and thought it would be fun, and it has been. So there you go.
Nice, thank you.
Even if you don't know how many players the Hoplite games have.
Yeah, my bad. Okay, all right.
I'm kidding.
It's my bad. Okay, I just don't, like, I've done as much research as I can, but I just, like I said, I don't really do PvP. I'll like do a bit of battle box on MCC Island every now and then, but that is the most I do. Just something about, like, because I know with Hoplite I'd absolutely love the grinding phase, but then every single time it gets to PvP, I'll just want to requeue. You know, like I'll enjoy like getting the stuff, and it's like, I don't know, I just don't want to, like, if I go into civilizations, I just don't want to screw over my team by doing all the grinding and leaving or whatever. But I enjoy watching it, so at least I'm still supporting it, and the podcast, you know, I'm still supporting it in my own little way, kind of thing. Same with speedrunning. I've brought on a lot of speedrunners, but I don't speedrun myself, and that's my way of kind of being interested in supporting it, is by doing the podcast or watching it rather than actually speedrunning myself, kind of thing. Yeah,
Battle Royale on Hoplite is definitely a game that, like, the audience versus the like active players, like the audience is going to be a lot bigger. You know, it's good to have a game like that on a server, because it's not that like the game is bad. It's just like it is a game that is a little bit more high intensity, and there are going to be players who love that and want to get good at the game, and there are going to be players who that isn't for them, and maybe they just watch it. But it's just the long-term goal of Hoplite is to really expand and be a network for like all different types of games. And yeah, like I guess we've kind of got our name out there with these Battle Royale and duels when it eventually releases, with just being a high quality Minecraft server, which means that we then release more game modes that cater to different players, and it's not like, what is this server? Like, we don't have to make our name completely from scratch. And also, it's nice, like, an interesting take is, like, if you try to make something super grand and set the pressure to be really high, the reason why it's interesting is because people talk about Hightail so much, and this is a perfect example of it. Like,
happened, yeah.
If you, it's like, you can almost view, like, making a PvP game modes as stage 1 of the server, and it allows us to, like, first of all, be so happy working on everything, because we have a community, like, who are super engaged. But anyone who's, like, part of the server's team can just go see their game played on Twitch at any time. Like, it's an amazing thing. And if we released trying to make every single niche of Minecraft game mode at once, it would have taken us longer to get there than it would have taken us to release. I mean, maybe it would have even taken longer. Like, if we made like an MMO, for example, with like tons of depth, it might have even taken us longer to release that than it would have taken us to release Battle Royale duels, have a super motivated and happy team, and then make an MMO.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's just like, that's that's the really tough part about being unannounced. That's why I think like I don't think servers that announce themselves early are like wrong in their strategy, and everyone needs to copy Hoplite because it allows everybody to like know what the server even is. I think like during the creation of Hoplite, a lot of the devs probably had no idea whether this would get like 50 players or whether it would get like 1,000 players.
Yeah.
And we really saw like everything take off when as soon as like the testing phase started. Luckily we had a giant testing team for my events, so we were able to like have about 200 players on the server before, you know, 6 months before anyone even knew what it was.
It's kind of like with the podcast once again. I just see this is my way of kind of showing I relate. It's not the best of comparisons. But
No, go for it.
I relate. It's like, you know, I announced you as a guest on Monday, and then this podcast was scheduled to Wednesday. Obviously, we had to reschedule, and that makes sense as to why nothing's perfect. But the idea is essentially announce midweek MC on a Monday, record on a Wednesday, announce Inside MC on a Friday, record on a Monday. And the idea behind that is basically so the viewers can kind of know who's next, right? If I don't announce a guest, they know the midweek MC is going to be just me and AJX, or just me, AJX, and another backup co-host, or something like that, right? And so the reason I announced you is basically so people can either get their questions in, or they can just get that bit of hype of like, oh crap, like we know now SpeedSilver's going to be on this podcast. And it's like, you know, a bit like with Hoplite, you didn't just drop the server, you didn't just release the server like, oh yeah, by the way, a server's come out. You like built, like you announced it a little bit before to build a little bit of hype. You didn't announce it too far in advance where the hype died down. And that's why it's perfect. Like I announce you on the Monday, I record with you on the Wednesday, and then I upload the video 7 days later. With InsideMC, I think it's 11 days later, but the hype's still there in regards to it being a week difference kind of thing, you know?
That's really respectable, being so good at scheduling. Like I am not very good at scheduling. Like I was saying, my second channel uploads like stopped for a while, and it's I guess it also just comes down to like, yeah, figuring out what I wanted to do with YouTube. Definitely announcing things in advance and allowing hype to build is a super good strategy. But it's so hard because like the way I operate with everything is just doing like grand things and trying to make everything as best as it possibly can be. And then that kind of approach isn't great for deadlines. Like it's kind of there's a lot of resistance to like starting anything, like to like get in the flow and start working on whatever needs to be worked on, like editing part of a video or something if it needs to be perfect. And then it kind of causes you to like me to leave things a bit late. But yeah, with a really good with a really good team, like Hoplite can be scheduled well. We did actually have a 2-week delay for release, but like that was like very unexpected. It wasn't due to like lack of planning and stuff. Going forward, for me, it definitely is cool to like announce things and have a bit of a schedule. So yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Is there anything else, or should I ask the Twitter question now? If you've got other topics, obviously feel free to talk about it, I don't mind.
No, go for the Twitter question.
So it's from DDXT, and to be honest, it's something I could have asked while we was talking about it, but it's fine, I wanted to save it. It was, what is your favourite legendary weapon and why?
I'm actually in the legendary weapon hole flying around right now.
So you get to look at them all. Perfect. I guess I actually have my own Twitter question as well, which is weird because it's my podcast.
I mean, I'd probably have to say the Midas sword, just because like the backstory with that weapon, it was the one that I used in my first ever video in the Battle Royale style. And it's just such a, like, it's also obviously the name kind of like, I spent during quarantine, like COVID, I spent so long playing Hypixel Skyblock, and like that kind of, although the design is like completely different to what it is in that game mode, the kind of mythology of Midas and stuff just is a nostalgic like theme and aesthetic, and it's kind of a tribute to like that game mode. I just like, yeah, I can't stress enough like how cool I think it is that Hypixel existed and just created so many content creators. Like even just talking about a tiny niche of Hypixel, like the Blitz survival games game mode. If Blitz survival games, well, I don't know, we probably would exist if Blitz was never made, but like Technoblade started in Blitz, I started in Blitz, another YouTuber who's quite big called Refraction started in Blitz, Cash, the kids YouTuber, he first started making YouTube videos in Blitz survival games. Like even just a tiny niche, like it got people to start making YouTube videos, and it's probably part of the reason why there's so many creators like in the Minecraft space versus other games, just because it lets people get started. So yeah, like obviously, yeah, people always ask like, is it your goal to destroy Hypixel? And like, there's nothing like that. Like, obviously, we're super ambitious about Hoplite, but we like what they're doing. And whenever I see like creators getting more options for telling stories, like Hypixel Skyblock doing crazy stuff, I just think that's cool. And like, if everything was taken away from me and I just had to, and Hoplite didn't exist and I had to make YouTube videos, I'd probably like be playing on one of those MMO servers, like telling stories there, if modded Minecraft wasn't a thing. So yeah.
Fair enough.
People are pretty weird about the whole, like, it feels like everyone wants every single server to be a Hypixel killer. I don't know if people realize that you can play on more than one server and also not prey on another server's downfall. You can want everyone to succeed, and I feel like that's the crux of the Minecraft community, is we can actually coexist. It's
Yeah,
not
I
a
mean,
competition directly.
yeah, I mean, competition like does have positive results, and it's like the Hypixel versus Mineplex competition was probably a big part of the reason why Hypixel innovated so much. And straight up, like, we haven't really seen a server adapt to the like new YouTube content. To be fair, Donut SMP, I would say, has like, that's a server, that you can tell stories on. Like, it's like how I became the most rich, the new lifesteal SMP thing. There's lots of like long goals and stuff, and yeah, so there definitely are like more servers popping up that do that. But I do see why people like want other servers to exist, because the other servers that have popped up just aren't like, there's just a lot that really aren't crazily innovative. Like, there's definitely a lot of unique mini games and stuff like that, but as a player, like, how are you going to stay interested in a mini game if there's no one making YouTube videos about it? It's an important thing even as a player to just like have some people to watch and kind of build a community around stuff with. So yeah.
Do you have anything to add before I technically ask my Twitter questions, Roman?
No, it's okay. I think, actually, no, just
Did I not answer the legendary weapon thing?
No, you did. You said Midas Sword, and you explained why as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Midas. Okay.
That's how we got into the Hypixel thing, yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify what I meant is, with the competition that I meant the idea that competition means a server has to die. Like, a Hypixel has to die in order for another server to do well. Something like that. Like, I feel like that's the idea that I was backing more so than the idea that competition isn't good.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, it does breed innovation. Yeah, you can go on, Orbitz.
Right, InsaneOrbitzz Twitter questions. Well, I don't really know why I didn't just ask this. It's because more come to mind. So there are two things. Firstly, will VIP rank ever get /Nick? Because I know Floatives is struggling hard right now with being targeted due to being one of the best players. So I'm not speaking on their behalf. I just watch a few of their streams and I can kind of just tell. So is there ever going to be an option for that? Because I know creators have it, or
It's already a thing. We added it in season 2's update.
So
it's not just for VIP rank. You have to buy like a nickname upgrade on the store.
Oh, so it's not going to be added to VIP as well, though.
No.
Okay, that's why. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you have to. So how much is the upgrade then?
$11.99, I think.
Oh, that's not too bad actually.
I was expecting you to go $11.99.
No, that's that's not too bad. But it's not monthly though. It's permanent, Nick. Yeah.
No, it's for each season. So each season is 2 months.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, that's actually quite good. I didn't know you added that. Sorry.
Yeah, the reason why it would be like kind of weird if it was monthly is like, if it was a subscription and then somebody's VIP ran out but they had a nickname and we had to like take it away, or we kept it like, and there was an exploit, it's just weird. So just doing it season based makes sense, and obviously all the money that's going towards the server is literally just allowing us to like expand our team. I think we've like doubled our team size since the release, which is probably expected, but like legit, we're already starting on extra game modes. Like, it's so cool getting the options that we have with so much support on the server.
And then the second one is, will we ever see rank added to the game modes?
Ranked Battle Royale?
Yeah, I don't really think it'd be a thing, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, the way it would be done is probably like Fortnite, right? So you get points depending on how you perform. I guess it would be interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Well, I know how it would be designed. It's just like, what's the point? Like, it doesn't really excite me that much because it's already intense. And then like, we can run creator events to see like the best of the best go up against each other. And I guess like also Microsoft put in rules that limit the esports scene. So like, it's not really like
Yeah.
we have many options with that. Like you're not allowed to host I think actually, their rules aren't bad. Like I'm on board with. I really do think like Microsoft were a net positive for Minecraft. I definitely do think they're like limiting Java Edition a little bit by not adding a server browser, and like they could do things to help the like cheating problem back in the day. But yeah, like I like what they do. I'm not like a super anti-Microsoft person, but they do have a rule with esports that's like a little bit weird. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it was, but I think it was if you're hosting an in-person tournament, you can't have a sponsor. It might have been like you just can't host any esports tournaments to do with Minecraft.
It was weird. Yeah, it was a weird one.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool adding ranked if there was going to be like this giant, like crazy esports thing. Taking sponsorships inside of Minecraft, like hosting tournaments, is a little bit, is a little bit like tricky. And I think Minecraft has the capacity, like the games that have the super crazy esports scene don't really have the potential for like their biggest creators to make some kind of story and like go against each other in a different like setting, like the type of things I was hinting at with the creator event. So the best story that they can get is like a big creator showdown, like the best of the best. Everybody's trying their hardest, who will win, and that does have a lot of spectacle, and it's pretty like worlds in League of Legends and everything. It is very, very cool to watch, but at the same time, like it can be very, very cool to watch all the Minecraft people not only like trying their hardest to win, but with like a longer form like world survival type thing. I just don't think it's really needed. I think limited time game modes are a great way to take it though. Ranked in duels can definitely be a thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, ranked in duels would be a good idea. I don't think of that. Yeah, so it's more so just battle royale. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's kind of already ranked, just without the whole ranked system, if that makes sense. It's already like
we don't need to make it sweatier. Like
yeah, exactly.
It's already pretty intense. Like I like sometimes end up shaking when I'm playing like crazy.
I still have like a good few topics, but if we record for much longer, I'm gonna lose my. I need to go to like I need to go and do stuff because I'm going to a Christmas party later tonight.
Oh.
You know, and plus I think like time's getting a bit limited, and I have so many more questions. But however, I think sadly I do have to kind of I do have to bring the podcast to an end. I'm sorry. However,
that's all good.
On the podcast here, if you're interested, I'm gonna offer you the invite. You don't have to accept or deny it. Obviously, we can see down the line. If you're interested maybe in season 4 or season 5 coming back on the podcast to kind of talk about where we are now and where we will be then, you know, you can I'm more than happy to bring you back on and have another conversation and ask like a few of the questions I didn't get to ask on this podcast then.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, by then hopefully the gamer event and next arc of my YouTube channel will have come into fruition, so it'll be cool talking about like future plans again.
Exactly. So there we go. I always like to give the outro here then for you to promote yourself as well. Obviously, most people listening to this will know who you are, but for the little bit of people who don't, would you like to promote yourself? Anything? Obviously, unless it's a sponsorship, no. But like, you know, who are you? Where can we find you? Or your ats on social media? How to find out the Hoplite website if you want to buy any of the ranks, all that kind of stuff. This is your field here.
Buy VIP rank on Hoplite right now. It's only $9.99 a month.
Where'd you buy it?
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, check out SpeedSilver on Twitter at SpeedSilver with an extra R at the end, and my YouTube channels. And if you want to play Hoplite and check out the fastest rising Minecraft server, then connect to hoplite.gg, and that is all.
And then Hoplite GG on Google as well for the website if you want to buy the VIP rank.
Yeah, check out our website. We've got news articles. We've got a store. It's a great time.
And that's where most of our research came from, other than not knowing that there's now a nicking system, which once again is bad. We can't find everything, alright?
Okay? It's hot off the presses, Orbitz.
Well, Roman, thank you for joining me today and subbing in for Captain AJX. You've been an amazing co-host, so thank you so much for that. And sadly, this brings the end of Midweek MC. Thank you again, Speed, for taking time out of your day to come and speak with us. It's been amazing, and I look forward to bringing you back on in maybe 4, 5, 6 months' time. Whenever you're ready, if you feel like there's a perfect opportunity to come back on, let me know and we can arrange a date anyways. This has been Midweek MC, talking to the amazing SpeedSilver about themselves on Hoplite, everything that, and how it all links, all that kind of jazz. Thank you all for watching, stay safe, don't eat too much bread, pieces.